But you know what we can do actually, just on that topic, talking about maybe start going in, just on pride, like scripture, pride, scripture, stuff like that. See where the spirit leads. Right, but yeah, let's kick off. We'll start off by giving all praise be to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem Kakadash. By double honors to the apostle of Great Millstone. Honesty, brothers, in the work of the Most High in truth and sincerity. With the Hebrew Israelites who come week in, week out, prophesy the downfall of this kingdom. Right, and as people look around, right, as you know, they are seeing the happenings of this world, right? You know, people have questions. Like the gentleman, like last time we saw him, like he wasn't there. Last time I saw him was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, as in see for him to actually come up and ask questions, right? But obviously, yeah. So obviously, he's seeing what's going on, and he was looking for answers, right? In fact, crying for wine in the streets, right? And then also, in fact, you can the Lord. Yeah, yeah, because he also mentioned that as well, right? You know, because people in these last days, they're looking for answers, man. They're looking at the news, right? And the news ain't giving them anything. They're looking at, you know, this other thing, and that's not giving them anything, right? The open buzz 1444, you know, right? So, yeah, if you've got to get them, please. Isaiah 55:6, and it says, "Seek ye the Lord, Yahweh, while he may be found." Right, because there's going to come a time, once again, he's putting together the systems and the circumstances such that we ain't going to be out here anymore, right? Because of this Iran situation, you're going to have a lot of FFs happening. I like to say events, right? Because the AI be getting smart, man. Right? You're going to start having a lot of events happening, right, in these last days, right, that are going to be, he's getting ready to accuse us. Okay, so seek ye the Lord while he may be found, right? Because the doors, just like there was a day when the Lord said to Noah, well, when the Lord closed the ark, right? Because it was the Lord that closed it. Just as there was that one day, but there's gonna come a time when it's like, all right, cool, you people, your time, you had your time, right? It says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found; call ye upon him while he is near." Do you want to make a point on that? Yeah, come call upon him while he is near, because guess what? As the time keeps getting closer to the end, the less you're gonna see the Lord being merciful, man. The doors of repentance are closing. In other words, the door of that ark is shutting down. That spiritual ark, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because what was it in Ezra's, right? This is while he had liberty. Can you grab that? Oh, it's 15. Um, you bring it up. Oh, this is the book of Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but for of hearing the words of the Lord. Also, yeah, that's the time in. The Bible being saying, we need to seek the Lord right now, or the door of mercy is still open, because there's a time will come, as we can see, they're implementing policies, beyond the closing doors, to take away the freedom of speech, So what we do here is preaching the word is part of that. Freedom of speech. Yeah. But as soon as they're gonna take away from, what we are doing, exactly, Yeah, because they're gonna stop the good news, man. Yeah. Right. Once again, that gentleman, it was like at the end, he said facetiously, "Oh, I'm glad I stopped," right? Because he was hoping we'd come and give him smooth words. What did he keep saying? Right? What did he keep saying? He was basically looking for us to say for comfort, right? And then it was like, so what are your thoughts? Like these are bad times, whatever he said. And I was like, oh, depends on your perspective. Because for us, these are great times. Hey, we smile on a level. Oh, I used to always be scrolling Twitter all night. And I was like, oh shit, trying to find updates, right? Especially those first couple of days, right? Trying to find updates because these things have been prophesied. In fact, real quick, you get Ezekiel 33:33. Real quick.
When it goes into the whole idea that the Lord has taken us out of this world,
Mhm.
right? What happens to this world is not really, that's not our priority. Like, obviously, this place needs destroyed. Matthew 24 tells you these things must come to pass.
That's it.
Yes. So when these things come to pass, it's like, what would you do? Be afraid of it? Exactly. Or are we meant to be excited that the kingdom of heaven is about to be established? Right? If you are part of that world, or this world, then obviously you're going to be afraid because the world you know it is about to come to an end.
Yeah.
For us, it presents a new opportunity, a new beginning, which is what we want because we're looking for, what should you say, a new kingdom where there's righteousness, right? That's what we're waiting for. So when we see these things, why are we? You're not gonna hear from us like, oh no, oh hope Trump's on site out soon. Oh, we, peace talks. Now you ain't ever gonna hear us say nothing like that. We want Trump to go all the way in, put troops on the ground, everything until they're all destroyed.
You know what we say? Remember how pissed off we were when we found out the CV was just a fluke?
Yeah.
We were.
Oh, we kind of knew. We kind of knew. But you couldn't say that because you could take it down. You couldn't say it just flew.
No, but remember when like we were getting clips out of China and people were dropping down,
bodies everywhere.
But we was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then when it was just like, oh, it's the flu, isn't it? Like,
you know, they didn't release the MOTV then, so we know that wasn't the time. So you know, we're waiting for that drop. You know, when they sort of re-rate to push this whole MOTV, that's what we're waiting for.
Which what we're observing now is very much like, yo, okay, you know, because that's what it is. Watch, yeah, well, we're piecing things together. We're like, okay, they could do this because right now, like, you know, what we were saying to the guy that came up, right,
was come down. Did the guy come?
Yeah, it was before we turned the camera on, right? Before basically we're saying to the guy, like this idea of America doing say a ground invasion, right? It's actually kind of real stupid. When you look at Iran and how Iran's terrain is, the geology of Iran, you don't just do a ground invasion, right? Because you've got certain passes. I'm not saying that they won't, but I'm just saying like we get certain passes, and one of the things I was reading was, because of the season, like certain of those passes are going to be sludgy from snow and ice or whatever, what have you, right? And basically meaning that March is not a great time, February, March is not a great time for a ground invasion. So I was like, right, so if they then wait for better ground invasion time, April, May, that's the Strait of Hormuz closed for 3 or 4 months. And when you look at history, one of the things that they were saying is during the last crisis, right, there was like I think it was a bit long, so I forget exactly the details of it. But basically, there was an event. It lasted 6 months, but it took a decade for the markets to recover from those 6 months of closure, man. Right? The last oil crisis from way back when, basically, it was something like the price of oil quadrupled. Right? The price of a barrel quadrupled. Like, you think people can handle a four, or is it $400 a barrel oil and petrol?
Right. Because that would mean what? What we paying? What was we paying? We was paying like 130, 135, right? So you imagine that goes up to £5 now.
Yeah, cooked.
It's food, bro.
And not just people who drive, everyone, because Tesco ain't gonna absorb those prices. That's going straight to the consumer.
This is it. Like, you think like these companies that run these industries and that, they profit all the time, regardless of what's going on, right? If they got to lay off some people in order to get their profits, yeah, they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're always gonna benefit mostly, right? It's the consumer that's gonna suffer, right? So you think they're not gonna put the price up just to save you some agony? Don't bet on that. Esau's not that fucking kind. So you know that.
He's not kind, you know.
You know, he don't give a fuck. You know, as long as you know Mr. CEO of Tesco's is doing cool. You know, it don't matter.
What the scripture says, he that is a fool to himself, to whom shall he be kind?
Yeah. Because they want us to believe that all these fucking millionaires, they're all fucking kind-hearted people, and they do all this charity. But yeah, but we know they're fucking arseholes, man. They're the biggest arseholes on the planet.
And a lot of that philanthropy, if any of it is quote unquote real, is because it's some kind of tax break.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 33 and 33, and it says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come.
Yeah, it's like we can speak on that. Like, you know, people are going to keep coming up to us. People that we had maybe spoken about this truth to years ago, right? They're gonna be trying to see our take on it. Okay,
What do you think?
what do you think? Which I'm saying the guy hasn't come up like 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Like he's walked, right? Like we've seen him and that, but actually come up and try to have a conversation. He's not done that. But obviously now because of the war, he was like, look, man, I need to see what's going on. Right? When we said it was like, look, man,
What you man saying?
yeah. Like, our apostles for decades have been speaking about Israel doing something stupid to bring America into a war.
That's the thing. When you ask us what we're saying, it's the same thing we've always been saying. You know what I mean? For years we've been saying the same thing. You know, the script hasn't changed. You know, but now you're seeing it. Like Habakkuk says, right? You know, these things should surely come to pass, right? Don't tarry, wait for it. It's just a matter of time. And although when we're talking these things hasn't happened yet, so you man are like, oh, these men are talking about. But now you want to ask questions because now it's happening. It's like, well, these man was talking about that. So like, what's their take on it? Now you want to listen.
And you know what? Once again, bro, like in the UK, they said the last day of normality was before the CV was the 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020. Yesterday was Friday the 13th, and right now you got because remember before lockdown actually was confirmed, like there was a lot of like nervousness amongst people, but it hadn't moved along. Right now you've got a lot of nervousness again. Instead of funny enough, 6 years later, right? But you know you've got a lot of nervousness amongst the people, right? So it's like whether you know we're watchers and we go and see exactly what kind of games, what kind of moves get made, right? But hey,
Like I said, we're not gonna be like we're not hasty about it. We're just happy to see these things.
exactly,
You know, because like I said, the MLTV, you know, it's got to rear its ugly head.
exactly.
You know, so whether they start a war and it comes in during that period or whatever, all we know is that when this mark of the beast comes in, America's still gonna be around, right? Because they have to be around, right? Because the destruction of America comes afterwards, right? So whether Russia and that come in, they come later. Right? So when like Russia turn comes into the picture and that we don't know it. We have to wait and see. We know they kind of help him, you know, behind the scenes right now, but they're not there. You know, when they're there, their man's getting killed there. Then obviously it's a big issue. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like I said, like I was saying, we watch, man. You know, we report to you and break down the scriptures like we always do, man. Reading about elders and apostles, we've known this for a long time because of the elders and apostles taught us already. It's just okay. It's just waiting for that moment to come. That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
So Second Ezra 4 and First Second Ezra 4 and 38. It reads to say, as for the truth, it endures, and it is always strong. It revives and conquers forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things.
See, the truth is inevitable, right? As much as Esau tries to suppress truth is inevitable. You can't be stopped. Okay, it's gonna come out sooner or later. You know, that's why it's not good to tell lies because lies break down eventually. Because you can't keep up the whole lies thing again, up forever. Eventually, it's gonna break down, and that's what the Lord's doing, breaking you down.
So, suppose.
You know,
Yeah, that's like a good.
Yeah, even that gentleman who came and asked the question, look for a way like to give him comfort. Yeah, we have to give over.
The very truth. Yeah. But ultimately, once again, though, it's like I think he's a genius.
Yeah.
Like when he used to come out, he was just moving like a real ninja.
Yeah.
Moving like a real ninja. But it's like ultimately the comfort is these scriptures. That's what.
that's why we're not bugging out.
Exactly.
That's why we're not concerned. We're not afraid. We're not scared. Like obviously, we know there's hard times ahead, so obviously that's in our mind. But this is not bad news for us. We're not going to treat it as bad news.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. As we were saying to us, like ultimately, because you know when you go to Tesco, you know you still tap and this, like yeah.
but it's going to cost us more. It's going to fuck us. But when it gets real bad, that's when the Lord's going to come to us, man.
My servant shall. That's it. That's what we look forward to. That's our comfort. Because as the elders going into it's real. It's like some of these things are going to affect us, right? When you know they start going, wow, some of our family is going to get impacted. Wait, let's be real. A lot of our family is going to be impacted in the things that's going to happen, right? But that's what ultimately I always say is Ezra's basically seek this for thou and people like unto thee, right? That's ultimately what all we can care about, right? And that's one of the things I'm actually really grateful about the whole period of the CV for, right? Because you remember before you had certain family members like, would you? But then when you saw how quickly they went and took that jab,
Yeah.
you was just there like,
Hey, pressure bust pipes.
yeah,
Pressure bust pipes, man. But we're made to be as a man, Lord, you gotta be, you know, you gotta, you're
Yeah.
under that pressure, man, and get through it. You know, no matter what's going on. You say when the market, the hour of temptation comes in, every man's gonna be under pressure. That's why it's a test. That's why it's temptation, because you're gonna want an out. It's natural. You're gonna want an out of the flesh, the pain that you're experiencing, right? But that's when faith comes in, right? Where your integrity comes in, where you endure, like endure like a soldier. Tells you, right? That's the point where the Most High sees who's who, and who's about what. You know, and we know the most people are gonna buckle. And Lord's gonna be with us in that time to strengthen us in that time to keep us strong. You know?
So, it's a little bit. And as it goes on to say, and all men do well like of our works.
Back in Ezekiel 33, read again. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
That's when you're gonna start recognizing, oh, these men were talking the truth the whole time. Maybe these are men of the Lord, you know, because it's easy to write us off when things haven't happened yet. It's easy to do that, But the same could be said about all these other people you put trust in. They said they took a lot of shit, man, and half the shit not even happening. All the recovery. What was it's 20 years later? We're still waiting for some recovery. We've been talking about this all this time. There's no fucking recovery. Britain and America, they're not hitting no peak again. They're still been going down. So where's this recovery? You trust in these man's words, though?
because I always say, man, I love nature documentaries, man. I was watching the was it dinosaurs again? The graphics and it's great. But it's just like you're watching it and it's like, bro,
Be lied to.
like he makes it seem like these things actually happen. Bro, I remember
He acts like he witnessed it.
He witnessed
He acts like he witnessed it.
in season 1. He basically was like, yeah, this is the T-Rex's mating ritual. That's what he was. And I was like, bro,
Shakes a little toe.
bro, when drugs do the rub nose thing, I was like, bro, this guy has to be stopped.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, he won't say it explicitly, but it's like because you're seeing it,
It makes it feel like
it makes you feel like, yeah, this is what was going on. Point being is like people trust in this man.
Yeah. Trusting their intelligence and their scholarly levels. The only thing he's scholarly in is wickedness, man. Witchcraft. That's the only thing. Because that's what he's doing right now. He's giving you witchcraft. That's what he professionalizes in. Right? He got like a master's PhD in witchcraft. So that's what he's got. It's not intelligent. He's just mad into witchcraft. Probably youth, as the scripture tells you, right? So that's what he feeds you. He makes you believe the lies that he spills, man. And that's why when Trump is there repeating some garbage all the damn fucking time, he expects people to believe him.
Yeah.
Because no one can say that much bullshit and just not feel like a way about it. He expects you to believe his bullshit, and some people do. But that facade is kind of changing, because like you look at this dude, man, it's just a fucking joke when he's talking. But how can you believe anything this guy is saying?
Because like he's backed by the Black Mirror, the TV,
and they're going to repeat his message, and they're going to shut down opposing views. And so what's what you're going to hear? So that's what you think is happening.
When you once again saw the same thing during the CV when it was the same mantra repeated. Just because
all news stations repeating the same exact message. Man, I got no originality. Man, I got a script.
Yeah. The elder did a thing. Swami did a thing when it basically there was a compilation of them all saying a short-term pain, long-term gain, and all of them were saying, and what is that? The elder apostle Ramla, I believe it was, basically one of the apostles used the word inculcation, right? That's what Esau will do. It's like that constant repetition, right?
Programming,
spells. Because even in the world you've got that saying, repeat it long enough, you start to believe it.
You lie long enough, it becomes truth in society. Yeah. So that's why they need to control the media. I still go back through this. I'm sure Elder Yeshua Wamba went into the whole term media, right? And now it goes back to witchcraft, basically, right? That's all it is. And that's why if you're not privy to the fact that Esau not just dabbles in witchcraft, right? He's actually fully into the witchcraft, right? You don't understand that. You don't understand that you're being usurped the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't understand that this guy truly is the devil, and like he's hoodwinked everybody. But that's what the scripture said would happen. He's going to deceive the world. So why is it hard for anyone to understand, especially if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible? How is this hard to understand that? Because these Christians put him in power. How is it hard to understand that this man's the devil? It shouldn't be hard.
Isaiah 25:7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations. Yeah, right? So, hey, what the Lord is doing now, man, right? He's letting things come out now, right? What used to be hid is no longer hid, right? Esau can lie and lie and lie, but now more and more that oh, we just believe Esau. That spirit is gone in the world.
Yeah, because he's inherently a truthful man.
You know, sure, right? That spirit is going in the world. You now a lot more. You're having people being like, yeah, nah, right? And that's one of the things that's beautiful, because you know they're gonna try, put us on blast. But you're gonna have a segment of society just gonna be like, yeah, but what they're saying don't make sense.
But that's why it's important, right, for them to hide the fact that they're Esau.
Mhm.
Because if you know he's Esau, there's no way this man will get away with the bullshit he's talking. Because everyone just know, yeah, but you're a nation of liars, bro.
Yes.
Like you come out the womb lying, bro. There's no way anyone would let anybody be in power. Right? But the fact that they have to hide their identity to be able to play that role, to play this virtuous role, whatever the fuck they think they're doing, that's the only way they can get away with it, is pretend they're not Edomites, man. You know, because the scripture tells you, man, not to trust our enemy. You know, these Edomites are just fucking wicked. They're a different manner of people, man, and they can't be trusted.
We always say it's like, man, these men are trillionaires. Instead of getting dome, right?
They're building
They're
golden
building
dome.
iron dome.
Iron
Like,
dome.
it's like, what you do?
Wicked.
It's just like, just
Building
chill, bro.
bunkers and shit because they know they're about to fuck everything up.
You know, it's just like, what you doing? You know, but that's why our kingdom's gonna be beautiful. Right? Unless what's that? I've got one preset. No, because it might change. Right?
God. This is Isaiah 55:11, the previous piece I read. It says, "So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please." Because the precept that I read before in Ezekiel 33, it said, it will come, right? It will come. Meaning what? The prophecies of the scriptures are inevitable. Because a lot of people think that they can change, manipulate, or intervene with Bible prophecy. You can't.
Well, just ask Babylon.
Yeah.
Ask Persia. Ask Egypt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did the things that the Lord wrote about it, did they happen? Yeah, they happened. That's why they're not ruled. You know, that's why they're half of them in a museum somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, because the Most High dealt with them, man.
Mm.
Right, and the Most High calls for the destruction of this place too. It's gonna happen the same way.
And one of the things that when you're speaking, I was thinking about in terms of what boosts our faith is now that that covering card has been moved off of us, we look at the so-called white man as Esau, right? Because the people in the world, they look at the so-called white man as old out white. Right? But as we know it's Esau, we look at him and we're like, oh, and he's empowered. The fact that the Lord has allowed this man to be empowered shows you that there's a Most High, right? Because he's the weakest of the nation, man.
He's
Right?
qualified to be in
The
a leadership.
least qualified, right? Just about, reproduces. Just about.
You imagine, aside from Egypt, right, where he was in hardcore slavery, right, these other nations that we was in captivity under, like, kind of dealt with us in a particular way. You know, like I said, they still allowed us to be, like we had Daniel and these certain men in certain positions. They still dealt with us in a particular way, which is subjects like the rest of the kingdom. Esau and Egypt, because that's what they're spiritually saying, right? They just crack down on us, bro, and they hamper you. They don't want to, like, let's say Esau doing all kind of underhanded tactics just to fuck us up. Yeah, he doesn't need to do that. He does because he likes it. So he's dealt with this whole rulership a whole different way to his other kingdoms before him, man. And that's why he's just fucking worse, because he's just an arsehole, man. These other nations had something about them, even though they weren't right. They was a bit more noble, with their shit.
And it says, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Yeah. So whatever the Lord says, it will happen, man, in His own timing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Shit. You got something? I got a preset.
Yeah, something here. Second Ezra 4 and 37. By measure as he measured the times, and by number as he numbered the times, and it does not move nor steal them until the said measure be fulfilled.
So we know Esau's got a set time in power. He's got like not like a birthday. You got sort of particular day, right? Well, he got a death day. Like his way his king is destroyed. He's got a particular day, a time that's gonna happen.
I was gonna make it.
You know? Most High's got a particular time in mind that he's gonna take him out, right? And we're not privy to that. That's why we have to sit there and watch, because that's what he's commanded to do, right? But he knows the time. Yahushua don't even know the time. He's waiting to get sent down and do the business, you know. But Most High knows that on this particular day, this particular hour, this particular minute, those missiles are gonna land. America's gonna be gone, you know, and then that'll be the end of Esau's power, essentially.
Yeah.
There might be a few man's armies around and that, but you know, they ain't no issue. Yahushua gonna wipe them out. So, you know,
It's the end of all the heathen in power. Man.
Yep.
Beginning of
right,
righteousness.
governments and that, it's over for them.
Was that? Yeah. It says Habakkuk 2 and 3. I quoted it earlier on. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." Right? So it's gonna come to pass, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right. So it might look like it's taken time, right? But then, really, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of eternity, right? What? Like, how long has this really been? Like, you really think about, like, you know, sometimes you try and wrap your head around eternity, and it's like you start, you know, frying. It's like, nah, it's calm.
Well, even just understanding that the day with the most 1,000 days. Wait.
Yeah.
One day with the Lord is 1,000 years here.
Yeah.
Right. It's not really been long for the Lord.
Exactly.
It just feels long because we're mortal.
Yeah.
You know, but remember, like this, the end times have been since the Lord turned up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the last days, man. But obviously, these things that they have to take time. The Lord has got a time, right? And he ain't bringing it forward, he ain't putting it back. It happens in that time, right? So whatever he's designed up there, it's how it's gonna play out.
Yeah.
So for us, we might want it now, obviously. 2,000 years sounds long, isn't it? But we've died and come back, but it's a story, isn't it? Right? And there's a whole process of us refining ourselves to get to this point where we can be delivered at the end of it. So,
Because
You know?
it's also a trial of our faith.
that's right.
Right? It's like, have you got patience? Right? That's why, what does it say? In Sirach 2:10, it says, "Woe unto you that have lost," or 14, or basically, "Woe unto you that have lost patience. What shall you do when the Lord shall visit?"
Yeah, this 2,000 years has been like a big sifting process. You know, and through generation to generation, who's making it, who ain't making it, kind of thing. And we're gonna find out in the end, because that's why there's so many people on the planet today. We're all here to some level degree. Some of us have gone and passed, you know, life here on the earth, but we've all been here in this generation, in this era. You know, we're gonna see it, man. We're gonna see the MOTB. We're gonna see the destruction of Esau, man. You know, how on earth you think we can go for, as I say, 1,000 years? I'm stupidness. I don't know, bro. How is that even possible?
But no flesh shall be saved, man. You see
How is
what
that even
Esau's
possible,
doing.
bro?
See what Esau's doing.
Each year is getting more perilous, man. This can't go on for 1,000 years, man.
You know? It's just like, you see, even just the whole digital thing. It's like, you know, we shouldn't be just looking at screens all the damn time. And I ain't good for your brain, man. Frying your circuits, man. Right? There's even something like that. All of the radiation that's around us from these mobile devices, Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
Final guys are getting fucked up.
You know, just like there are reasons why you read about the fact that men now are less virile than their fathers, and they're less virile than their grandfathers. Yeah, by a lot. Everything is just all messed up, and you know, just the idea of, you know, being here for that much time. So we'll be cooked, literally, literally cooked.
Everyone be
like,
gay, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
everyone be gay, wearing dresses, you know, looking like aliens with black eyeballs and shit.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, we can't let that happen, man. Almost like can't let it go that far.
And then also it's just the amount of surveillance that this man is bringing, right? Because which I shared it.
No, I think you're
Yeah, that's why I shared it. It was me to do a video on it, right? But it's like the amount of different surveillance techniques that this man has already, right? From your Wi-Fi, right? Being able to map out how your house is, where you are, right? Apparently, even like your phone, because it's got what a gyrometer in it, which is like what allows you to do the whole how it knows whether it's like landscape or portrait, all of that sort of stuff. Clever shit, right? It knows it basically like they know basically your walking pattern, right? They're able to determine your walking pattern. Okay, cool. You're heavy on your right hand, your right leg, and all of that sort of stuff, right? What like,
Crazy shit that most people don't think about. Bro.
Exactly.
Esau's thinking and preying on man.
exactly? It's like, why do you need to know? Why do you need to know I've got a limp?
Yeah.
Like how
But he
does
wants
that
he wants to 100% be sure that it's you.
benefit?
I don't know why he needs to know
Yeah,
that so badly.
Yeah,
but
when
he
the
wants to know.
Palantir drone
Yeah, exactly.
is trying to find, he needs to know.
But this is the point I was gonna make, right? I think I said it before, right? Esau's been blessed in the last 100 years with all this technology. The Lord's blessed him with this crazy ass development, and because Esau's proud about how far we brought humanity and all this shit, right? All these inventions or whatever. In 100 years, he's done. To think we can go on for 1,000 years more, where do you think Esau's gonna be at that point? Man actually might be on fucking Mars. You know what I mean? Like some crazy shit like that. Like the Lord. Like, things have been sped up. That's why he's been successful in the last 100 years with all these developments and shit. Because the Most High is speeding their ass up to bring them to the end. Right? The Lord's not going to extend it for another 900 years or whatever to see what man's going to do.
Yeah.
He's already done too much in the 100 years he's been here. Like
How many
working at
more
that pace.
wars?
Yeah, exactly. Working at this pace. How far is he going to go? So there's no way, man. The Most High is bringing these stories to a close, man.
Daniel 12:4. Oh, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Right, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. So much has happened in the last 100 years with Esau and his technology. That's why we had the bare industrial revolutions and all this type of shit, right? We're heading into what is it, the fourth, with the whole AI shit, right? That's all in the space of 100 years, bro.
Yeah.
Like how much technology how much think he's going to develop that he needs to do to get you trapped?
Yeah, and
He's already the technology for it is here now.
it's here now,
So
yeah.
what does he need 1,000 years for?
Yeah, because
Like,
the AI, and it's what I say, it's like the AI that we use, right, is neutered, if you will, right? It's like there's a whole load of what they refer to as guardrail. So for us, when we use it, we might be like, oh no, it gets this wrong, oh no, it gets that wrong, right? But that's because we're using like
AI light.
AI light basically. Right, the stuff that even of the chat GPTs and the actual engines behind them, yo, what this man can do already at this today, bro. So then imagine he gets time to learn more
Perfect
about how
that,
to perfect that. And I saw something earlier on today which basically said in 10 years, a computer science degree went from being the best degree you can get to the worst degree you can get. I'll be honest, that's my field. It's like not saying that it will be perfect, but because I've Lord's allowed me to have experience, I know when it's going wrong. But you can actually get the AI to do a whole load of coding. Like it's actually pretty insane what it can do. So then what's that gonna mean? That's gonna mean a whole load of people are gonna be losing their jobs. And that's just one field. Right? I remember reading one thing where it was like a doctor was in his thing looking at an X-ray, and the AI was right, and you see how different people interact with the AI. Us, we just use it as a means to an end, but you get people that look at it as the truth, as God, right?
The ultimate evolution type shit. Smartest in the room type shit. But just remember, it's a product of Esau, man.
Artificial ideas, brother Rutters Alice says.
That's it.
Preset, because when the sun's out, it's warm, but as soon as it's hidden,
Well, I'm appreciating that sunlight and the warmth from my chest, bro. It's like basically invigorating. I was thanking y'all watching me shine for the sun, bro. It's nice when it's out, but England's not out enough.
It's the book of Matthew 24 and 22. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
So the Most High is not giving him 1,000 years. What kingdom had 1,000 years rulership?
Oh no.
Bro, come on, man. That's some foolish talk, but we know Allah does a fool anyway, obviously.
yeah, as we found out, more than a fool.
He ain't a credible source, so but I thought I mentioned it anyway. But like, just know we're not far from this being over.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're in that time.
but even that though, where did he learn to do those things? From being around these heathens, man. Right? It's not just was it Micah 2, right? Too intense.
They say the longer you're longer in this place, the more susceptible to corruption you are, man.
Yeah.
And that's why the Most High took Enoch out.
Yeah,
It says that, right? Because he was perfect. He didn't want him to stay in this place any longer in case he became corrupted.
Yeah.
Because this is what this world will do to you.
Yeah.
You know, it'll push you and push you and push you. But it's like you got to be strong of mind to resist it all, because the pressure's going to be on, right? And that's why the same reason why the Most High got to bring judgment eventually, because he can't just leave us here.
Yeah.
He's got to take us out of this place, man, and bring fire upon this place, man.
Yeah. So,
Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted.
polluted, man. When you watch all of the stuff that is in you know, just in regular TV, right? HBO, at least in the UK, HBO was the first channel that I really saw, like with Game of Thrones. You'll be just watching TV and the next scene is just a freak fest. Like it's a freak off session or whatever, right? All of that imagery, right, in people's minds is gonna cook them, man. So I was remember thinking, imagine you're gonna have a generation of children, right? Should this place continue, that will have access to AI custom adult entertainment. What's that gonna do to their brain? They're gonna be cooked.
These men are all lonely.
All lonely. People are gonna be absolutely fried and cooked,
Man,
man.
man are going to be importing robots from Japan.
Yep.
All of that. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible, man. Right?
It says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
That's it. And that's what once again, that's what happened to my man. Right? Yeah, ultimately we understand he just had demons on him and stuff like that. But it's just like we always say what he was doing was so new. We'd hardly talk about the fact that he got his wife to deal with the Edomite and the Edomite got her pregnant.
It's like Pornhub shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like madness. The wife swap.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's this world, man. This world is polluted, and you have a whole load of people that genuinely have no issue with that in this world. So should this place continue, imagine how much worse it's going to be.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I'll grab this though, because it's one of the things. Because as sits like that, these things are in this world upheld, but unto the Lord, right? These things are straight up wickedness, man. Right. This is Second Ezra. So Second Ezra's 15. I'm just reading. Right, so, behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Right. So that's what starting from the apostles on down, what we've been doing, right? What for apostles decades, right? Their teachers before them, right? After the time that we've been in this thing, right? We've been speaking the words of prophecy. That's why, as we read, as things more and more things happen, you're gonna start having more and more people just these times it's like it's a whole new number, they've changed numbers, you don't recognize them anymore. Hey man, I remember when you used to talk about X, Y, and Z. Right? You're gonna start seeing that more and more as this place starts going down, right? It says, which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So we're not speaking our own words, we speak the words of the Lord. Right? And that's ultimately what it is.
And we're compelled to speak them.
That's it.
It's reason us just to have us, like, for us to have the truth and just sit indoors and nothing about, nothing about it. But we're commanded to go out there, right? And so we're compelled to go out there and speak this truth. You know, whether you're here or whether you're forbearing. So you might not like us, but you don't give a damn. Yeah. You know, because the elect's waking up regardless. So it's not like what we're doing is wasteful. It's not. And then you're just professing your faith to the Heavenly Father, which is good, which is a good thing. Right? So it's not wasteful. I know you guys might see it as that, but it's not a wasteful thing.
That's it. People walk by, they don't take heed. That's condemnation.
That's their problem.
That's condemnation. We don't care. You know. So it says, yeah, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper for their faithful and truth. Right? Which modern day, that will be, you know, the epistles that we do it. You know. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Which incredulity goes into lack of belief. Right? But so like as we'll go once again, as society starts to break down more and more, these people are gonna find it harder and harder to be like, oh, you guys, what you're talking about? It's like,
Yeah.
Bro, I ain't even talking when you're starving.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't be talking shit when you're starving, man. Because you're gonna be like, shit, man, they told us about this shit, man.
Yeah.
They said
They
they
keep
said
them alive.
yeah, they said the bread was gonna cost mad money.
Yeah.
And, I can't get bread now.
Yeah.
They told us, they told us that. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So look at I will put Isaiah 6:9-11.
And it's just a matter of time. But it's like over the years, talking has died down. The scoffing is cooled down. You still get the scoffing out again, just talk shit. No IQ. Just some random statement. It don't mean shit. They don't talk about nothing. Not breaking down the scripture. Not doing anything. They're just talking shit. They don't like us. Who cares, innit? But you'll be in that situation that we speak about, man.
So,
Fighting for one another for bread. You ain't got time to talk.
so
This is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 9-11. And it reads, excuse me. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears.
This is what the Most High has done, right? And if you think that sounds like a God that loves everybody, I don't know what to tell you, right? But the Most High has purposely blocked the eyes and ears of people so they can't receive the truth.
yeah, and Yahweh Shah quotes this in Matthew. What's the God of the Old Testament?
Bro. Like this, you say about Yahweh Shai, it's the same today, it's just today and tomorrow. It's the same, right? The Most High never changed. Like the mad crazy that was going on in the Old Testament, the Lord's about to do it again. Man flooded the earth, remember? Man's gonna bring fire upon the earth to destroy sinners, bro. Like, what do you want? What do you think the Most High had to change our heart somewhere? Bro, we're still in captivity, bro. We're going to change our heart. We're going to come out here ages ago. But no, the Lord never changes, man. That's why you got to respect to who he is and not who you want him to be.
If I could say this as well, it shows you, basically, the scriptures show you that how the people of the world paint the Most High like he's all inclusive. No, he's exclusive.
Bro, he's excluding you from the truth, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
He's blinding you. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
What's his talking point?
Yeah. Because this same precept in Matthew, which I like that one as well, it stays by the point in 11 is what I wanted in this one. But Yahweh Shah's like, yeah, Leicester. Yahweh Shah's, yeah, Leicester have to heal them, man.
Yeah. Fuck. They heal you too?
Exactly. I was like, I don't want them.
This guy ain't worth
They ain't worthy,
Yeah.
man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right, Carl.
But the angels are the one who are doing the job.
Yeah.
That's it. The angels are busy bees, man.
Yeah, that's it. Verse 10. Make the heart of his people fat.
Because I mean, it's like just
Sure,
there was a quick mention of that. Because like what they did with Adam, man. When Adam got kicked out of the garden, the angels there protected the way, kept him out of the garden. Basically, he couldn't come back.
Yeah.
So the angels are always doing things to prevent people from doing certain things, man, or to make people do certain things. So they do that too. And that's why Trumps do mad.
Yeah. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
God, and it says, and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed.
And then it's like that analogy, man. People just want to put their head in the sand. Like ostrich, man. innit? They don't know what's going on around them. They can't see or hear. Their head's in the fucking ground. It's the same kind of thing. Like you don't really want to know what's going on because it's too scary for you.
Yeah.
It's too scary for you.
So ultimately, it's like, I'll give my man some props because he was like, look, man, I don't really want to know.
Wait,
But let me
hold
ask.
his head up. Hold his head up.
Did the meerkat.
Yeah. So what's going on?
It was like, look, tell me, man. It's like basically you saying it's gonna get better. That's what you
Yeah.
wanted to know. All right.
No,
But-
no.
It's with the same page.
yeah. That's it, man.
Verse 11, it says,
Oh, but sorry. So reason I brought that out because yet the majority of these people, man, they don't want to go into this. They just want to paint, and that's one of the things that the media is very good at, right? Because right now this is Trump's rule, right? So they think, okay, let's just impeach Trump. Oh, the midterms are coming up. Just get rid of Trump. So no.
Same mistakes.
The pain is written to come, right? And that's what is a destined for this world, right? Because when I'm able to finish.
It's like that whole Trump thing. It's like you think you're gonna put somebody else in and they're gonna start war.
Mhm.
Obama did war.
Yeah,
Bush did
exactly.
war. They all did war.
And Obama was like the best president ever, apparently.
Yeah. Just because you're gonna change the person, it's gonna change what's going on. They ain't changed nothing.
Nobel Peace Prize winning, but
Yeah.
drop more bombs on.
Yeah, like he talked good. You know what I mean? He talked good talk. No, he's vernacular, but it's like he bombed more people than most of the presidents, bro.
Yeah.
As soon as you came in, Syria was getting murdered.
Yeah. So you don't think you just change the face and the things change. It don't work like that.
Or Kamala, it would have just been a little bit of something. It would have just been a little bit
more
more
pathetic.
Yeah,
A bit more awkward.
exactly.
You know?
We saw Khomeini.
Oh,
That crap.
that voice is annoying. I want to watch it.
Yeah, but what was it? That's why I really like that Sabrina man, because it shows you just how actually all of these people, regardless of how they look, right? Because yeah, they had the different casts from all of these different peoples, right? So people they might hear us saying, oh yeah, you know, the Edomites or whatever have you think, you know, this person, they look like this, so they're not a part of this agenda. No, when you watch something like Sabrina, they've shown you get these witch covers. Yeah, you get people that are down for the cause. Right? There's one scene in there where the chick, she sacrificed herself because she was like, look, man, I wish this year I'm the one that gets sacrificed for the sake of the covet. Right? This is how these people, these people in this world actually think and what they really believe and feel, man. Right? So Kamala, she was with Epstein.
Well, you gotta imagine this, right? If us brothers were prepared to die for this truth, right? There's no one on the left hand side is prepared. You know, people are ready to do that too.
That's it.
You know, so yeah, to us it's no surprise. People can't think of why would some go so far to what they believe in. But that's the whole definition of faith. They just believe in wickedness stuff. They're prepared to die for their wickedness, bro.
Yeah,
what they believe in, you know.
Yeah, but that's always in the Western world. There ain't no faith. Man. It reminds me of the scene in V for Vendetta when he's like, "What calls it godlessness?" Right? That's this place. Absolute godlessness, man. That's why it's like they don't understand why it will be so hard to take down in the ground war them Iranians, man. Right? Because they're fighting for something. Fighting for something wrong.
They're misguided.
They're misguided. Right? But it was a clip I got sent. Right? This chick, she's doing a live stream. This older woman, right? She's doing a live stream, right? Basically saying, "Oh, when we do that chant, right, it's against these people, it's against those people, but it's like, but ultimately we're praising the Most High, etc., etc., etc." So a whole sea of people. Then like over there, a bomb drops, right? It's an airstrike, bam, and then I think they made 1 or 2 airstrikes, and then people they just start celebrating. It's like, how do you fight people that celebrate with bombs?
You know what I found interesting? I saw a short clip on the news, right? I can't remember. It's the Iranians women's team for something. It might be Olympics, probably some sport. I'm not sure. I think they decided to go back home because they weren't in Iran, but they decided to go back home to be with their people. Like, these are women, bro.
Yeah.
And you feel these women they hate the leadership and
Yeah.
you know they just like hate not them women decided to go back, man, to be with them.
That's it.
To suffer as a people, to fight as a people, and whatever, right? That's crazy because these men wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
Speed of passion.
They might go to
Yeah,
Dubai,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they might
yeah.
go to Dubai and just leaving UK, immigrant problems. Yeah, we're gonna fight the immigrants, but they're in Dubai.
Yeah.
So they're not down for the cause. You know what I mean? So these women actually went back from whatever activity they were doing to be with their people, man. I think you're right. Props to you, innit?
And the American Edomite thinks that they're just gonna go in there and
It's
wipe.
still- yeah, it's
So
still,
nah, it ain't gonna work like that, man. Hey, we hope you do a ground war because that's gonna be funny.
bro, just know there's a lot of death because the Lord's preparing death there. The Lord's preparing the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's it.
That's what the Lord's doing, right? And like nothing's deterred that. Like from the time we were covering it from years back, from the elders and apostles, like the Lord's bringing more and more problems there, man. And you have to go there. There will be troops there eventually.
Yes.
There will be ground troops. There has to be. Whether it's now or whether it's later, it doesn't matter. They're gonna get there at some point, right? And then the Lord's gonna smoke them all.
That's right.
Verse 11, yeah. And it says, "Then said I, Lord, how long?" And he answered, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitants, and the houses without a man, and the land be utterly desolate."
So the reason why one of that we're gonna go and let's both go back to Second Ezra to finish it off, right? So ultimately the Lord has blinded these people, but they won't get it. They won't be like until it's like too late. until the blood is on the streets, man. Stomachs are empty, right? They're looking at their child like steak,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because that's what's coming to this world.
Can you, man?
You're drawing the game, daddy.
You know? Because I said one of the things they're gonna try and trick the people into doing, right, is to take that MOTB with the promise that they're gonna eat. But all Esau actually wants is you to take the MOTB, whether he feeds you or not.
Yeah, well, I feel kind of bad for them women here that hate their children, bro.
Yeah.
Because you see some of them doing, black women as well. We've seen a lot of them
Yeah.
crazy bitches, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't think they've seen twice.
Yeah.
Eating their child, bro. I really don't.
Well, yeah.
I really don't, bro.
Literally putting them in ovens and freezers anyway.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So I can put
Crazy.
past them.
Yeah.
So yeah, children are not off the menu.
Well, if they'll take them out in the womb,
Yeah, exactly. But this is what wickedness does. It just expands wickedness. You know what I mean, so they could do anything. That's why being a flamer is really just a demonstration that you're prepared to do anything because you're ready to really go against the grain. So what else will you do?
Yeah.
What else will you do?
and let's be real, it's these women that really help protect these modes, man. Right? Because I was on a train earlier on.
Johnson's son's got in it.
Oh no, look, I couldn't find
Is that
anything
real?
on that. I couldn't
that
find
real?
anything on that.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Put that in the chat. I was like, oh damn, good.
Yeah, I did.
Look,
Look,
I didn't check it, but if it's true, good.
exactly. But yeah, it was like
Oh,
Yeah, Magic Johnson. Yeah.
I did look. I didn't see any. It was not like that's the kind of stuff TMZ would have as breaking news.
Yeah, but you know the when they put in the chat, right?
Yeah.
There's a video. Okay, there's a video attached to it. The video gets me involved. It's not only is that is there a flamer, right? But the proud and arrogancy of being that type of individual. It burns my soul, bro. I just wanna. I'm glad. If it's true, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because pride is hateful before God and man, right? And it's the worst. It's the double. Yeah, it's double irksome.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you know when Wikipedia hasn't gone to past tense.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is an American.
Yeah, okay. TV personality.
He is destined to be destroyed.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. That's why I think you don't fucking listen. Anyway.
Ecclesiasticus. Let me say, 10, I read 12, and then I may jump to 11. Say what the beginning of pride is when one departed from Most High, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Right, because in that video, I don't want to go on this topic on the dude, right? But she was, it was going on about how obviously the dad and the mom, kind of go to church or whatever, innit? So then he knew that this is not acceptable, right? And he was warned. I'm assuming someone warned him. So someone must have warned him at some point, right? That this ain't good. This ain't good. But the arrogance and pride is that I don't care what the book says. I don't care what the Most High word says. I only care about me. I wanna do what I do. I wanna feel comfortable. I wanna be who I wanna be. Yeah, I love me, right? The Most High is like fuck you and your love for yourself and all that kind of shit, right? Because you gotta obey. Right? You step outside the boundaries of what is classified as good, you step into wickedness, there's punishments for that. Right? And so if you just ignore it and think like, oh, don't worry about all that, God's not real, or whatever you're thinking, right? You're a fucking idiot. And you deserve destruction. It's like you were warned and didn't care. So why is the Most High gonna care then? So that you're on fire or whatever, suffering somewhere.
There's only say, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it shall pour out abomination. And that's what we see here, the LGBTQ, this alphabet people, and all the mischief that are going on now in this world, idol worship, it's all come because of what? The lack of fear of Most High.
Disobedience. Yeah. And that's the thing, this place has become more rebellious against the Heavenly Father in his ways. But that's a product of Esau. Esau is taking the spiritual out of life. It's all in the belief of the carnalities, providing for, doing for yourself, like, the selfishness aspect of things. That's why everyone's fucking selfish, man. Everyone thinks about themselves first than anybody else. That's why there's mad divorces, why children are being neglected. Everything's happening because of wickedness. Because wickedness has been allowed to expand in the earth because Esau promotes it You know, he supports that. You know, he'll support wicked agendas. So you can just be about yourself because we'll endorse everything pretty much. Just don't go against my laws.
Yeah.
That's it. Just don't break my laws. And then if it's cool, you do adultery. It's fine. It's cool. You know, but if you get married, it's a state issue.
Yeah.
So we want our money, or we want our part in that. You know, we're gonna decide this and that. So as long as you're not breaking his rules, he don't care what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he promotes that God is not in all these sports, right? So he's taking out yours. You know, you don't need to be afraid of him because we want you to listen to us rather than the Most High. So he's gonna make it seem like he doesn't have a part to play in this world. You know?
He was going to say, and therefore the Lord brought out upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
Overthrew them. Right? And you're currently in the process of being overthrown. Right? All the pestilences that's come, strange calamities, right? That's all part of that. Right? The wars, that's all a part of that. You know, the droughts that have been going around the world, these rivers and seas that are, you know, going down below historical levels and shit, showing you the omega sign and all that kind of stuff, right? You know, that's freaky science, bro. I'm not gonna lie, right? But these are all the things the Most High said he would do, right? And if you're not really you're not actually putting two and two together, like you're really, Most High, like we told you earlier, he's really blinded you to these things, right? Because you have to say something up, man. Fucking animals just beaching themselves, bro. It's like something's up. When you see that, that's normal. That's not fucking normal. Something is up, and you might not say, "Oh, God did that."
It's global warming.
Yeah, it's because the algae in the water. You know, he's talking about some fucking algae.
That's one of the things when I think about that whole global warming, I'm like, yo, the Lord really created the perfect devil. Because in the ancient world, they would have been saying it about like false idols, but they would have been like, yo, the gods are angry at us.
Yeah. Someone's angry.
You know,
It ain't just the algae in the water. Like the fishes are angry. No, not the fishes. No, the gods are angry.
and then they'll do a wicked sacrifice of
Yeah.
shit like. But the point is, they understood that certain things were judgment. What Esau's done is he said, no, it's no judgment, right? It's global warming.
You know, it's a string of unfortunate events. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
happened. You know, we need to tax the shit out of you to make the world better. Yeah.
I mean, we just discussed again 11 and chapter 22. It says, the blessing of the Lord is in the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he makes his blessing to flourish. Say not what profit is there of my service, and what good things shall I have hereafter. Again, say not I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter.
That's someone that sounds like they feel they're secure. Right, but I'll tell you one thing: how can you feel secure in a world that's about to destroy it? Right, the fashion of this world passes away. How can you feel secure in that when you're so invested in it? I'd be nervous, man.
Yeah.
If this was potentially a thing and I had all these possessions in this world, I'd be concerned. And I'm like fully invested. I'll be concerned. I'm like, oh shit, like, what do I do? And what do I do with all this stuff? They're like, I don't want to lose it. And that's the thing. People don't want to lose it. They don't want to lose it. We're prepared to give it all. We're prepared to give it all up. Like, he gave his life. He didn't lose his life. He gave his life. We're prepared to give everything over. Right? So we're not losing. Anything that's taken away from us, we give up. We're not losing it because we know what's happening afterwards. So that's why we're not concerned about the destruction that's going to come here, because everyone's going to lose.
Real quick, I'll give it back to you, bro. Luke 17:32 and 33. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
That's why we're of a different mentality to everybody else. That's why everyone's shocked when we talk about this so nonchalantly, like, you know, like, yeah.
Do you ever catch yourself having to stop cracking a smile? Like, have you seen everything that's going on? You want to be like, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, you know, it's terrible, isn't it? Terrible these times. You're holding it.
The whole time you're celebrating your mind, you're celebrating is now.
That's it.
You know,
Those beautiful times, man.
that's it. So yeah, you don't know what's coming. You know,
But it's true though. Like when people are bringing up these conversations, it's like you can tell in their mind they might not be wanting to like bug out there and then, but you can tell like they're concerned. People are concerned because they're like, yo, if this happens, this is it though. We know what happens next. right? You know how they like to say the one thing markets hate is uncertainty, and that's all people hate uncertainty, right? But we have certainty in what comes next. They don't know. They're like,
A more sure word of prophecy.
that's it. You know?
Because these worldly analysis, they can't work out what the fuck's going on. They can only take guesses, right? Because none of them would ever guess that America is going to be destroyed. None of them guess that.
That's it.
But we already know it's going to happen.
Yeah. So it's like I was because even from a market perspective, I would have expected the price of silver and gold to have skyrocketed,
Yeah, but
like
didn't.
up, but it went down for a little bit. It actually went
Very
down,
strange.
right? But go and show you that these guys they're playing with the markets, but the world's wisdom is that it should be going up. Right? The same way the world's wisdom says we ain't ever gonna rule.
The true wisdom is market's gonna do what they want to do because the elites are controlling it. So they're gonna make a killing people
Exactly.
betting on
People
that
suffer.
because that's what naturally would occur, right? But when the elites say no, not today, we're gonna crash it,
Yeah.
and then bring it back up afterwards. So you're gonna put all your money in,
Yeah.
and they're gonna clear you out.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what they
It's a
do
trap.
because their whole goal is the MOTB. Yep. That's ultimately what it is. Like some of the crypto crashes, was it this year or end of last year? Well, people got liquidated, liquidated, right? And then it'll be a thing where, especially the way it moves, is let's say it was like because you've got a lot of what they refer to as whales in the market, right?
These unknown wealth.
These unknown whales, where if 2 or 3 of them bring out all of their money at the same time, what happens?
Just one.
Everything, one,
Even just one of them.
even just one.
They are so much. It's unreal.
That a market plummets, and then guess what then happens? Then they can buy again.
Right, all up again. And that's what the rich do. That's what the elites do. They buy up things, right? That's why there's nothing left for the poor to have.
Was it Waterloo, Battle of Waterloo, or something like that, where it was like they basically said Napoleon had won the war, right? So people panicked or whatever, and then basically that was a lie. But then they bought it. They went and bought it on the cheap.
Criminal activity, bro. Fraud.
Oh, injuries and riches got by the sea.
Yeah.
As it goes on, it say, again, say not I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter.
What evil? Man, just fucking show what evil can come to me. I'm blessed. Like, you know what I mean? I've got gods. You know what I mean? I got everything. I ain't got what I mean.
That's
Right.
the spirit of these evil.
Matt Ocean.
Yeah. Even though he couldn't even save his own fucking life. You know what I mean? He put him in the boxing, he would die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the man got no skill, no strength, no nothing. He's just puny sperms, bro.
Ask Charlie, man.
You know, but they got the biggest mouth. They got the proudest, boastful fucking thing going on, right? But when the Lord brings judgment, what are you gonna do, bro? Are you fucking Bear Grylls? I don't even Bear Grylls not even gonna fucking survive, bro. If he ain't making it, you ain't fucking making it.
Just on that slot, bro. Can I grab this real quick? Because it's what the Lord's about to start doing. Yeah. It says Jeremiah 15 and 2 and 3. It says, and it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as are for the death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
Right? It's predestined. It's preordained. Who's gonna do what? Who's gonna go where? Who's gonna suffer what?
Yeah.
So you can think, I'm gonna do this though. Yeah, but the Most High already said that you're gonna die this way, or this is gonna happen this way. It doesn't matter what you do. It don't matter.
Yeah.
You know, so it's vanity. That's what it's basically saying, because you don't trust in the word of God. It's vanity what you do. You know, because like, yeah, we could do the same thing you're doing. We can get bug out shelters and we can do this and fucking, I don't know, could we have a project in your back garden just digging a hole fucking, I don't know, for the year. I don't know how long it takes to do a fucking hole by yourself. But anyway, I mean, yeah, we could do all that. But what would be the point? If the Most High don't want you there, you ain't gonna be there, bro.
Exactly.
You know, that's why we trust in the Lord and how He's gonna deal with us. Even if that means we have to die in the process of that. You know, we're not afraid of that prospect of things not going the way we personally want. It's all the will of the Heavenly Father at the end of the day. But just know any Edomites that got bunkers and shit, man, you're all dying, bro.
So,
All of them. If you don't die, you're going to slavery, damn sure. You ain't making it.
but man's building bunkers in America. How we do
Bro, you're not making it, bro. You're not making it.
Yeah. Verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh. Don't know why I went that high pitch. It's lucky. So the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy.
Bro, fucking ant can kill you, bro. What do you know what I mean?
Oh man,
It's so mad. Like, there's so much threats that the most I could use.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that you're never fucking safe.
There was a show my nan used to watch. She's a nurse and background, didn't it? But it was basically like, it was a whole premise of people who get like some kind of illness, right, and basically come very close to death, innit? And I remember there was one guy, he got pricked by a toothpick, almost died, because the toothpick had some bacteria, and then obviously because it went,
Bacteria is mad.
yeah,
Right? And you can't see the shit.
you can't see the shit. Like it went like into his
It's
foot.
killers.
Man almost died from this, and it's like so. Point being, if the Lord has a way
Oh,
for you to go,
The thing is, the Most High is scary, man. The Most High is scary. His creation is scary, man. When the Most High wants to use it against you, it can be scary. Like I said, man are dying from peanuts.
yeah.
Bro, they're peanuts. They don't even have life. Like, it's a secret. Right? So, and it can kill you, right? Even just the oil of it or something.
Yeah, so
Some
some
cools, man.
some people are so sensitive. Like
Yeah.
they do, you have certain schools where it's like no one can have anything with peanuts because there's a student that is so allergic.
That's why they got to warn you on the
Yeah.
packet, so it was made in the
Yeah,
factory
yeah,
to
yeah,
produce peanuts and stuff
yeah.
like that. Because you might have an anaphylactic fit or whatever
Yeah.
and die.
Mad.
Bro, you can get asthma just out of nowhere, bro.
Mm.
Respiratory systems don't fucking work no more.
Yeah.
It's mad. That's what I mean. There's so much things.
You-
You know what
you-
I could do?
You can be a so-called healthy because it's healthy,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong,
Yeah.
whatever what have you. But then you slept on the wrong side of the bed. Oh, you know what?
If you can find that scripture, brother, Bashar, you know the guy that says, it might be the same thing actually.
No, it sounds like the same. You're talking about the one.
I'm gonna build more. Yeah.
Look,
But
yeah.
that'll fall.
Strong
Tonight, I'll
sound,
take
yeah.
take your life, man.
I'll find it for you.
You know, yeah, Baba Bashar, man, because that's exactly what it is. Like, you could think you're cool. You think you can be super prepared, you're healthy, you got all these medications stocked up, ready, you got antibiotics. Shit, antibiotics can kill you now.
Oh, well,
You know what I mean?
I showed you that as well in Leave the World Behind.
Mm.
You remember the guy? He got bit. Like he was just going in the woods. The sun.
Oh yeah.
He was
yeah,
going in the woods, and then like he stepped on something or scratches, and then he almost ended up dying, man. He was begging for them antibiotics.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, but people becoming antibiotic resistant now and shit. So it's like, almost like I could just fuck up your plans, man, quite easily, man.
A good movie that shows you that is Final Destination. People are just dying from anything.
Yeah,
You know, slipping on water, you crack your head, and
Be anything,
Crazy,
man. You might choke on water.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all mad.
Look at man. I remember when I was young, man. Schumacher was the guy.
Yeah.
Man went skiing one day. And we haven't seen him since.
Well, I feel bad for the dude still. He's like my racing hero, bro.
Yeah,
You know, then he get a ski crash.
Yeah.
Of all things.
Yeah.
He didn't die on the road,
Yeah.
on the circuit.
Right.
Man did skiing accident.
Man, like all
Man's
the
vegetable.
crocodile hunter.
Yeah.
Man used to, he used to fight crocodiles.
Yeah.
Crocodiles, and he got. I know the stingray. You gotta respect the stingray.
Yeah.
But he got killed by a fish.
Real talk, bro.
Bro,
I didn't
life
even
don't
think
work
that
out.
was
You think,
possible.
that's what I'm saying. You don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
The Most High, when he's ready to take you out,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna stop the Most High doing it. Doesn't matter where you are, what
Yeah.
precautions you made. Most High can get to you.
Because when you look into the mechanics of a stingray, though, yeah, it's dead. It's like that whale is basically like acts like a harpoon, man. Yeah, it's deadly, man. It's deadly still. This is Luke 12 and 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. Right, and he thought within himself, what shall I do? Because I have no room where
And
to
to be
bestow
fair,
my
if you're gonna be building bunkers, you're gonna be doing pretty.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? Because it's probably not cheap to do. And you buy all these, stock up all these foods and whatever. It's not cheap to do. You know, so yeah, you gotta be kind of doing all right.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So it says, and he said, this will I do. I'll pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. You know what I'm thinking as well? So
But
all of
fruits.
these plans.
But
Yeah,
the fruits,
I was thinking just in general, but just all of these plans. You'd be speaking to people, yeah, man, we'll do this, do that, do this, that, and the other, which, we're kind of in that strange position where we want this place to end, but we know there are certain things that we might need to do at some point or whatever.
can't be completely irresponsible.
Yeah, it can't be irresponsible, right? But point is, you get people that just have all of these plans. You ever been at like a work meeting, man, and they're saying, yeah, we've got this one restaurant, but the plan is next we're gonna open a second restaurant. Right, the third.
Whoa. One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
You know, in the back of your mind, you're just thinking, bro, the food ain't gonna be transited. You know. But yeah. It says verse 18 says, and he said, "This will I do. I'll pull down my barns and build greater. There will I bestow all my fruits and my goods." They will say 10 stuff. Bro, which really, when you look at a lot of that 10 stuff, actually a lot of it ain't really got that long a shelf life.
Nah, you find it's not that long.
It's not even that long.
Not as long as you're gonna need it.
Exactly. That's the way that these people are thinking.
To be fair though, this thing won't probably go on that long. You know, in terms of thing, because you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead. Right? So you ain't gonna get to eat them anyway.
That's it.
Yeah. I think dry food's better, isn't it?
Dry food's better.
Lasts longer.
Lasts a little bit longer. But this is the problem. It's like you might have food, right? But then I always remember that the thing is when people are starving, their sense of smell goes up. So if you got food and then the guy down there ain't got food, he's gonna be like, yo,
Then survival is kicking in.
yeah, it was like you know, you get certain, they will speak about certain animals and how they're able to smell blood from however far away or whatever. Right. You know, the mind, the you know, people's sense of smell gets heightened.
I smell peaches.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
But yeah, you know,
You don't want to be striking a fire in that day.
for real.
You don't want to
For
be
real.
striking a fire in that day.
100% though.
You know. But it says, verse 19, and I will say to my soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years.
Yeah, they're prepared, right? They're prepared for all kinds of shit, right? Even the elites, they got seeds stocked up and that. They think that if we're gonna be down here as long as you need to be down here, we've got years worth of food to be down here. But I say you're not gonna get to use it, like you ain't gonna be there that long anyway, because you're gonna get your ass is gonna get grabbed out of there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't gonna come.
So it says, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Most High said unto him, thou fool.
You're gonna be in your bunker chilling.
Someone get Amos goes into, shall dig into the ground, Amos 9:2 or something like that. It says, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided?
So all those plans, what happened to them? What's gonna happen to them? It'll be left for others. So, and that's you know, we think that's what's gonna be happening. Like you certain man have, you know, stored up all these food that the Lord might have us come across one of these areas or whatever, so we can be sustained. And then we move on.
Yeah.
You know, because we ain't gonna just occupy whatever, because it's stupid to stand still, to be honest. You know. But you know, we don't know how it's gonna work. But the most are gonna provide for us one way or the other, man. And your plans are not gonna, and we didn't plan it. There's no plan that we have, like we're gonna do this and that. Like we know we're gonna be on the move, but that's about it.
So, and look, Lord's gonna be working with us on a high level, man. What Isaiah 59:19, right? The Lord shall raise up a standard against them, right, when he comes in as a flood. So when Esau really starts coming down, right, the Lord's going to start showing miracles, man. That's right, right? You know, and at that point, man, that's just going to solidify the faith, man. I forgot who was making the point, right? But basically the point that was being made was just like, Lord, you had certain people in the time of Yahweh Shai, after Yahweh Shai, where during the persecution, they were like, look, he saw in prison. And the point was just like, yo, once you see a man risen from the dead, it's like, what can you really say to that? You know?
But that's what's crazy about this truth, man. Because man, see that, like Judas saw the miracles, but he still decided to go against the order. You know, he fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I know guys that come in afterwards, they're gonna be like, oh, did that really happen? But it's a thing of, it's like the history of Israel. Those that weren't there question, did it ever happen? Right? Or is it just a story? But then I say that even the man that were there were complaining. When it was coming through the wilderness, man, and what they saw in Egypt, they were still complaining. There's just a contingency of our people, a large group of them, but that just don't believe, that don't want to believe, you know? And that's why the Most High has to separate us, man. You know, but we're going to believe in the accounts, even though we weren't there, we believe in it, right? Because the Lord requires our faith.
Well, that's what's again, when that guy was up there earlier on, right? One of the last things we said to him was just like, look, man, look, we've got, when we read these scriptures, we believe all of those things actually happen, right? Because if if those things didn't happen in the times that we coming in, we fucked, right? But the Lord has allowed us such that we've been able to see, even in our life, right, the Lord doing certain things. And what that's done is it's built up our faith such that we can be like, look, man, for instance, I always remember this, right? Ezekiel 38 speaks about, how Goma, which is modern day Turkey, will be protected by Russia, right? I remember at the time, I was like, but Turkey's very much aligned with America, right? But then one night, you had the supposed coup that took place in Turkey. Turkey was like, right, America didn't come protect us. And then from that point, they became Russia aligned. I was like, yo, but I was like, it's there. I was like, it's real.
And this is quite a good example of prophecy and time, right? Because the same way, I'm going to go into the whole, not we're going to go into it, but just mention it quickly about the whole virgin birth thing. The angel told her, you're going to have a child. And she's like, how? I don't know a person.
Yeah.
Things change, right? How is Turkey going to do this and that? Well, because something happened. Later on, that they made them switch, right? It's just a matter of time. You might not, in that instance, you'll receive it. It's like, well, how? Wait for it. Though it tarry, it surely come. You just have to wait. The Most High will reveal it in time. And then it makes sense. Oh, yeah, because that's why that happened. But you want to read this quickly. So Yahushua said, sorry, John chapter 20, verse 29.
Oh, Spirit.
Oh, go on, I'll let you brothers read it. I'll let you both go on it. Yeah,
Oh, does everyone have it?
This is John 20:29. It says, Yahushua saith unto him, Thomas, because
Oh shit! Oh, I was thinking it. I was about to look for it. Yo, that's a spirit.
oh my
Oh Lord, y'all about shit.
Spirit, time is about to be 4 p.m. This is John 20:29. It says, Yahushua saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed.
Right, bear in mind, Thomas is an apostle, right? He's an elect man, right? But he, famously called doubting Thomas, right? Because he didn't want to believe unless he saw it, right? But he was still an elect man, so don't be too hard on him. Right? Yeah.
And it says, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
Right, and that's all of us today, because none of us there were eyewitnesses of any of that. Even including Thomas, who's came back at some point, right? He would believe now based on what was written, right? Not by first witness account, right? So that's a greater level of faith, to believe in something you didn't even see happen. And that's why this is the truth. This is truth that says the faith. You believe in these things, you weren't even there. All the things that happened in Egypt, you weren't even there. We believe it.
But also goes to show that there will just be some people, that's exemplified with one of the malefactors next to Yahushua. You are just gonna have people, they're going to see and then Lord's gonna have mercy of them for them from that point wherein they believe right at the end, man. Right?
Also, the Bible says, "Go and I mean about the gospel. Go and preach it to the lost sheep of God." Also, of Israel. Somebody to be lost, it means they pass before. You walk the path. So you lost your
Straight.
Yeah. So you can come back.
Oh, the whole point about the prodigal son. Hey, you even hear when the apostle said, the apostles horrible, like, look, man, hey, if they get right, that's good.
Hey, we're not gonna hate on any of those men that made these mistakes. We all make mistakes, bro. You know what I mean? And we know it's just most of the story at the end of the day.
What was the scripture? If any man counts, then you shall be found worthy, something like that.
Yeah. He's not guilty to some level. It's just the Lord's mercy that has us here. So the Most High wants to have mercy on him, man. Who are we to deny the man the mercy? Even Peter said that, concerning Cornelius and that. Like, you can't deny them if they got the Spirit. You know what I mean? What to do?
Yeah. Got a precept. It's Hebrews 11 from the top. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Now, don't get it twisted, because we're not eyewitnesses to these accounts, but there's things that the Lord does show us that bolsters our faith. Right?
Like what just happened?
Yeah,
all four of us had the same precept.
And that's just being in tune with the Spirit, because we understand these scriptures and these precepts, right? As the Lord raises us up on this level, right? But it's like, if we do see things and go through things that Lord to show us signs to reaffirm our faith, right? It's not completely without any substance. You know, it's not. I mean, it's faith, but it's not purely just the faith. You just believe in it. But there's things that we witness and have experienced. You know, to confirm these things to us. That's right. You know.
Well, like when at camp, man. Remember the fleet of chariots?
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Remember that
I
day?
Bro, I remember that day.
Police officer
Yeah.
was there.
Oh, you talking about back in the office circus?
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
You remember? I remember he
was on camera.
his brother, oh, bro, and it was so, and it was spiritual because just before that, we was talking about the chariots,
Exactly, yeah.
and then the chariots popped up, but it was a hot day, scoffers,
Yeah.
and then
Them
even
boxer
when
circus
even when the feds came,
Yeah.
you remember that one? Oh no, that's a plane, and we was like, no, not
Yeah,
there,
that one.
there, and he was like,
that's,
interesting. He was confounded, man.
But I remember that day, man. That day, honestly, I was like, oh, if I went, I'm good. I was like, if I went right now, I'm good. It was. I was like, I've seen the chariots of the Lord. If I went right now, I'm good. Then
Because it was crazy. It wasn't
it was
that
crazy. Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
can we make it out? It was like there was some in a diamond formation.
Yeah.
Some was like
fuming,
red,
some
like
were chilling.
yeah, it was crazy, bro.
You know.
And look, Spirit had it where that page was taken now. I keep asking for the brother to re-upload that video. He has it on his hard drive and that, but that was crazy, man.
It was always gonna, was always dropping us something to keep us moving, to keep us going. You know what I mean? You know, even in personal life issues. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a big spectacular thing like that, but just in your personal life, Lord does something.
Yeah.
You know, bro, I got a strange thing. I got to get a strange story with this brother. He's talking about what it is. Like,
Oh yeah. Remember?
I still don't know. But you know, it's things like that. He's witnessing that. He's like, oh, right,
that was crazy.
Working
That
out.
was
I
crazy.
think it's madness.
That was crazy.
You know. Yeah. So you know, the Lord's given us something to keep us going, man. So it's not just pure blind. The Lord has seen it, bro. You know, shows us things.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, who was reading?
Yeah, I think it's me. Yeah.
Talking about
Really
the signs
shocked.
that I was listening in, I was saying, bro, like how the Lord makes, like you talking about Turkey. But did you see what the small hat said the other day? Turkey's a new.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal.
Good, because that's the fit of the promises,
Right.
right?
Yeah, because that's a NATO country.
Yeah,
man.
so that's like,
you know,
You know.
and the thing is, Turkey's been a problem
yeah, it's been a
for Thorn because they've got a large army, right? So they
I think they got the biggest NATO standing army.
I think
Like actually,
But
but
they're
numbers.
yeah Muslims,
Yeah.
and but then not only that as well. The whole thing about the S-400 issue, right? So basically, when Turkey's trying to buy Russia's S-400 air defense system, right? Air defense system, from what I remember, right? They need to understand what is an enemy plane and what is a friendly plane, right? So America's like, look, we ain't gonna sell you the F-35 because you'll get an S-400, because then the S-400 is gonna be learning what an F-35 looks like, from what I remember of the technicalities of that particular issue, right? But yeah, if they do that, that's the end of NATO.
But Turkey's always the odd one out anyway.
It's always been
But
on
when
that.
you think about Turkey, like let's say they're a Muslim nation predominantly, right? I know obviously you know Christians and all that kind of stuff in there, but it's like predominantly they're a Muslim country. Erdogan's never really been that close with the West anyway. Yeah. Right? Yeah. He's out of all the NATO nations, he's not nation to be there. Right? So there's always gonna be division there because the division's already there. Right? And we're just waiting for the divisions to deepen, right? To get bigger.
EU either, are they?
You know, and like I say, you know, a kingdom divided against itself can't stand, right? So these men won't stay together. And they obviously benefit from being in the EU right now, but that's not going to last.
Yeah.
Go on, see.
And Turkey have they have a history with the small hats because the Turkish originally owned that region. Yeah, and then after you had the Mandate of Palestine, where like it went from French, Turkish to the French to the British, then obviously Balfour Declaration and all that after.
Because the truth is, man, none of these Muslim nations agree with the inserting of Israel into that land.
Yeah,
None of them agree with that. So there's always going to be a problem there. There was a problem there.
Yeah.
Right, but like that, I mean, the promise is there for Turkey to not be with them. Right, because the more crazy thing is like how is UK and France gonna turn on America. That sounds even crazier, really. But that's gonna happen too.
Yeah, it's called the Mandate of Palestine when the British had the Ottoman Empire territories after it fell, and then that was like a pre-law for the eventuality of the Balfour. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's to have them to have a justification. You know what I mean, so it shows you, man. So there's always tension.
Yeah.
There's always tension. There.
As we tell you Italy as a good example, man. Man, flip flopping sides
Yeah.
multiple times in the war, but they're just trying to be on the winning side. You know,
I hate these robots sometimes.
Hyenas.
Because it's like I'm asking, I was like, yo, is Turkey the only Muslim country in NATO? And it was like, no, Turkey is not the only Muslim majority country in NATO, which wasn't the question I asked it. It's Albania and Montenegro, which joined NATO in 2009 and 2017, respectively, are also countries with significant Muslim population.
but more militarily.
Yeah, exactly.
Like no.
Yeah. However, Turkey is often cited in this context because it is the largest, oldest Muslim majority member, joined in 1952, and holds the second largest standing military in the entire
That's why it's a
alliance
problem.
Yeah.
after the US.
After the other, that's a big deal.
They don't feel like they have to table with them because they got their own fucking thing.
Yeah. But then I asked Robert, I was like, look, man, but officially Muslim, right? And I was like, no, there are 0 officially Muslim countries in NATO. So watch this. Turkey, officially a secular state since 1928. Listen to the joke. Although approximately 99% of this population.
Please go rebuke that robot.
That's out.
But statistically, it's correct.
Come on,
Because
That
that
1%, 100%.
1% mattered.
Oh,
I guess I know. No, don't be too hard. It's statistically correct, innit? But for the shit, innit?
Exactly.
Don't play games.
Yeah, because you know some Baconite read no, and that was the end of it.
yeah,
That was it.
They can only read small words. So no is like as far as you can do. Said no.
Make it a no. Make it a no.
Because the letters O and N in bacon.
Yeah, ABC, no.
yeah. No, that's right.
But you know what's interesting? Because like now, if Benjamin is
Actually, yeah.
if he's actually gone, now it's
Yeah, what's up with
1-1, man. It's 1-1. Because you know what I mean, 'Cause it's like the head of the so-called head
Head of
of
state.
Zionism, essentially, is out the picture, and
The face of it anyway.
the face of Zionism, and the face of the that type of Muslim world. You know, it's like
as well. Yeah.
it's like it's gone. It's
But hey,
one and a half
this
time,
is
man.
what we know. We go back to the other pipe, a Manzini letter.
Yeah.
This is what the war is.
Yeah,
This is what the third war is, right?
yeah, that's what
It's playing out exactly as it's written. So whether you want to believe it's real or not real, does it fucking matter? It's happening. Come on, man.
Remember,
Let's not be stupid. Does it exist?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Is it happening?
Yeah.
Does it have to is it in paper for it to be happening?
And you know what?
Let's
These
get the
Edomites, the Edomites, they're gonna be in an interesting position if he actually is dead, right? Because they can't then shout at Iran because it's like they were like, you can do the same, and then because then they're gonna be showed as hypocrites. But then they can't then just be like, oh, it's cool
It's
because
the
they're
same-
gonna be shown as weak.
Yeah, but it's the same as the desalination plants.
Yeah.
Because Iran attacked them afterwards, after their desalination plant got attacked or whatever.
Yep.
There's like, but this is against international law apparently, right?
Yeah.
So neither of them should be doing it. But it's like, well, why are we gonna apply? Why are we gonna apply for international law? You ain't playing by it. Fuck your laws, isn't it?
That's it. Well,
You know?
that's why, like, for instance, they hit the Karg Island yesterday or this morning or whatever, right, off of Iran, right, and basically Trump was like, I didn't touch that oil, left that oil, but if I have to, right, but Iran's basically said, bro, do it. No, Iran said, do it. Watch what happens to the oil infrastructure in the region. Yeah, I say do it.
Richard Trump, do it.
Well, because the reason I say that though is like those when you're hearing that the THAAD system's being destroyed, right? Those aren't things that you can just replace,
They're trying
right?
to get dismantled from South Korea. or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
there's been dismantled.
It's been-
Yeah, the
it's in-
Koreans are
they're
pissed.
shipping it now.
The Koreans are pissed.
Yeah,
because
no, the Koreans.
no, but the problem is, it's like they lost billions of dollars of industry from China.
Yeah.
Because China was like, yo, bring this system in. We gonna mess up. We're gonna mess up your money, right? So they still bought this system in. So then, like Kia and Hyundai, which is the same company, right? They basically their factories in China got shut down, right? And then like Korean entertainment got blocked in China. So obviously that's a lot of money that's going, right? And I think at the time they did something with tourism as well, right? Which basically meant they lost money on the tourism front. So for America to just come in and just be like, oh, thanks, right? They're pissed, right? And what China's been doing in North Korea at the moment, when you see like some of the recent footage, they've been building it up, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they ends up being a little,
Well, North Korea might be opportunist, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and decide to shell the border.
yeah.
They might do.
So Jeremiah 50:45, it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord.
So just because on that point again, it's like because Jim, where his name is Jim Come, whoever now, right? He's been speaking about what's been going on around. the
Oh,
region as
Kim
well.
Jong Un.
So they've shown his face in the arena too, right? So something is happening because you feel like, why is he even saying like, oh, my people's there in Iran? All right, cool. But they've shown his face in this whole thing as well. So they'll play a little part in what what's going on over there in those lands there. You know,
They call him Rocket Man.
you're rocking, man. He ain't that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's what he does every 2 weeks.
That's what Trump says though. I'm gonna blow you up.
Yeah.
You know, most devastating attack ever.
Yeah.
You know, what's the same shit? Same people, bro. Promise.
He's rebranding though. He's now he's now a family man.
He's still right
He's
there.
got his daughter out there.
It's all right still.
Internet's like, look, my shit, Kim Jong Un's a girl dad.
Family man. Family man.
Jeremiah 50:45 says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh,
Just come out of nowhere.
that he have taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Right. So these little really small hat dudes, man, they're doing exactly what they're supposed
Bro,
to be.
they done. Like them.
You know, exactly what they're supposed to be doing, man.
Yeah.
You know, because they're the problem with all the problems in the Middle East, ultimately, because they got put there when they weren't meant to be there. It's caused friction over these years, man. And all these wars, all these conflicts because of them.
Yeah.
Right. And they beg for assistance. Beg for assistance, man. And America is obliged to help.
But this is it, man. It's like there are a lot of people quietly, because you can't be out loud with it, quietly happy that that land is getting hit right now, right? Because it's like they've just seen them people there do the most for the longest time and just get away with it. You know?
I said the same time that they were hitting Iran, Israel went into Lebanon. Are you mad? Like, you don't think Iran is a big enough issue that you should focus on that? Oh, they're gonna go fuck up Lebanon too.
Yeah.
You just got the whole region just moving against you. You're only, like I said, we know it, but you're only bringing back your own downfall. You know, you think America's gonna save your ass? America ain't gonna do shit. You know, they're gonna fail. That's why Israel's gonna get burnt, just like America get burnt. So, you know,
Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely shall make their habitation desolate with them.
that's it. Right, so it's not gonna end well for Israel. It ain't gonna end well for America.
It's done.
There's gonna be losses on all sides. Don't get it wrong, but Israel's gonna pay big time, and so is America.
Yeah, that's what the scripture says. Equal, but it's that evil thought.
Yeah.
You know, like, look, let's do this.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Time. Yeah. So 4 angels holding back the 4 winds, man.
Yeah.
Not for yourself.
Something
For yourself.
I got those.
Oh, you got it ready.
Ezekiel 8 himself from the top. Bro. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog.
Right, so just to make it clear, Mosai is not with any of these men.
Any of them. Yeah.
That's why we're telling you, Mosai is not for everybody, bro. Mosai is for his people. In this fight, there's no dog in the race. Right? These men are gonna destroy each other. And we're just gonna pop up.
Yeah.
We're just gonna pop up, man.
Yeah.
You know? Mosai is against Russia, Mosai is against America, Mosai is against all these men, Israel, all these men.
Because at the end of the day, all of them are part of the NWO, you know what I mean, agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like the mark of the beast.
Russia just not Edomites, man.
Yeah.
You know? And China is just a follow-up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because basically, like, you think people in Russia ain't gonna get chipped too. You know what I mean?
Well, the CV taught you that, man.
That's it. Yeah. everyone came with their own random vaccine. So, you know, you ain't like the Russians are righteous. They're just gonna,
So where's God's army on the earth?
yeah.
In a practical term, it doesn't exist. Right? The Lord's army is his men, and these men are non-violent. as you know, at this moment in time, till Yahushua turns up, we haven't got a leader.
Yeah.
So we're not going to lead ourselves into war. That's not.
And one section of his army as well, man, is his missiles. You know what I mean? The army, his arrows that he's shooting for sharp. They're not missing to be sent into the end of the world, man.
Right by school. Yeah.
Yeah. Because them shits is alive, bro. You know, them missiles and them silos and shit. Like all of that force and energy is just compressed.
Well, if you imagine, well, this is what I was saying. Imagine this, right? You know, you go into science, you know, you get all the protons, electrons. They're fucking moving this shit.
Yeah.
It's alive.
So it's got to be alive to some level, isn't it? Like, and the most I making a chemical reaction for the whole thing just moving around and blow up and shit. Yeah, the case can be argued, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, these things are alive. No, just no consciousness, you know.
Well, I mean, and as well, the Lord sometimes uses, you know what I mean, I ain't fuck with it. Do a countdown and shit. Oh, shit.
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Yeah. That's good.
Crazy.
But them ones just bounce. They're all alone. And he prophesied against him, and he say, "That said the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will."
The Russians in a war mentality right now, man. I mean, not only are they fighting their own war, Ukraine and shit, they're actually in a war mentality anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And besides America, you know, when the whole World War II kind of collapsed, they were the only major superpower on the earth.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously that Cold War kind of fucked them up. You know, from World War II kind of fucked them up. You know, and they've had to be built back. So they're those bringing them back to that state again.
And you know what? Once again, there's been all of this talk about, you know, has Russia been helping Iran, right? But even as you're speaking, I was thinking about how the fact that Russia has actually been fighting this war for the last 2 years. What's one of the things that a lot of the European nations, NATO nations, have been saying is like, look, man, we're running out of missiles to help Ukraine.
We've got to defend ourselves.
Well, we're going to defend ourselves. So then, really, what that has actually probably helped in the lowering of stockpiles that America has for this Iran war, right? Because they've been sending them all over there to be used. The UK recently Storm Shadow missiles killed, basically struck someplace in Russia, right? Recently, right? One of the things I've been talking about, but the point being is just this idea of a lot of these weapons, right, have already been used up, depleted. Because man, I sent the thing, they can only make like 600-700 Tomahawks a year. I think it's Tomahawks or whatever, right? When you're looking into some of the weaponry and the lead times into how long it takes to actually build some of these weapons, right? Trump's talking about we can fight from who you can't, bro.
We're bullshit. We're bullshit, bro. Bluff. Man's bluffing. Obviously bluffing. Because how quick can they use them? Pretty quickly they can use them. When you hear man talking like we hit 1,000 sites, bro, that's quite a lot.
That's a lot. So that's
You know what I mean?
a lot of money.
But so if you get to the point where you just shot so many missiles because you thought I'm going to give up, and you ain't got much left, and it's going to take you a year to get back your stockpiles, more than a year, realistically, to get back.
The THAAD is going to take like 5-6 years. A THAAD battery,
And then they're getting destroyed.
yeah. Because it's like, and this is the thing. So when you look into, which really goes to show you when the scripture says, to give it into hand and be basically refurbished, going into perfect his weapons. This man has perfected the sword, right? Because he can't just get certain materials for these missiles. He needs certain specific materials put together and arranged in a very specific way for them to work, right? And the reason is, it's like, I forget which one it is. It's got like a range of like 800 miles. But that's basically a mini plane, like traveling. That's longer than the length of England or something like that, right? So that allows them to shoot far in advance, right? So they can do a standoff mission that they can be here and it can shoot over there, right? When you look into how these interceptors, these missiles work, because you can't always rely on GPS as an example, right? So it's got so many different systems. One is basically scanning the terrain, right? Other systems are looking at, like, taking a picture of the ground just to confirm that the terrain that they are where it is that they are, because you can't really change terrain that much in it. So they're using all of these different bits of information to be able to fire a missile from far away and it still hits its target.
Complex.
Bro, it's mad.
Why it costs them a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, well, you know, I was like, bro, why does it cost $1 million
Yeah.
for one of these? Yeah, and then you look into it, like, God.
And that was a rocket fuel. We just send it off, you know. But yeah, Esau's mad with the technology in it, you know. He likes to talk about sophisticated warfare. It costs money.
Ezekiel 38:4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen.
Yeah, don't go in one direction. Pulled back, forth another way.
Yeah, it was all in. So the most I really into this war. Yep.
Like, you know, when you see them old like videos of Putin and them, man, talking about, you know, the past massive leaders that the Soviets had. Like, but it's like now it's like, fuck that, man. All these years being
Russia's strong.
Yeah,
It could be a strong Russia.
like, nah, yeah, it's strong Russia.
You know. But I think the diplomatically they're more fair.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
right? They're not here to try and stop, you know, kick the wasp nest all the damn fucking time. America's always kicking wasp nests, man.
Bro, this is
always.
It's actually prophecy. Like, when you actually look at the characteristics of Babylon and how it's described and its pride, there's no way bro, the Babylon ain't the Vatican City. Like, let's just stop. Let's just stop.
Oh, the comment
It's like, no one's drinking, like, no one's going to the golden city of the Vatican. Come on, chill.
See your feet apart.
Yeah. Like, come on. Go there, then that's just questionable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's just stop. Like, Babylon the Great is America. Come on, and it's conducting itself exactly how the scripture said it was.
The hammer of the whole.
Hammer of the whole.
Pride, the arrogancy.
He's a fat nigga, bro. Imagine
Orange nigga.
Yeah, a fat orange nigga, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine you're at the barbecue and a nigga takes all the burgers, nigga smack the barbecue over, you know, and leaves you the bones and tells you to enjoy it. That's America for me, man. You know,
Left you the bones, didn't I?
yeah. Come in your house, come in your house, take the TV off the wall and flip the sofa and shit, mess up your front room, and he stands on business on doing that. Now, basically, everyone who's been tired of being bullied is like, nah, it's not gonna go there.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting about bullies? Bullies never know when it's their day to be got back.
Yeah.
So whilst they're bullying, someone is plotting on their ass. Like even with this conflict with Iran, you know, when you watch Scott Ritter and these guys on this talking, they're like, bro, they've been preparing this for like
40
decades.
years.
They've been preparing this for this a decade.
Well, they saw it as an inevitable thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas American people don't, they just want to live. They don't prepare for nothing.
Yeah.
No, but Iran always knew this day would come, that America would step and they'd have to defend their religion or whatever the fuck they think. You know?
And this is the thing. So the West is very individualistic.
Yes.
Very, very individualistic. So
Well, that's Babylon.
yeah. So it's like they're thinking, why am I gonna go die for X, Y, Z? Whereas the Iranians and all the people, really the rest of it, they're like, look, man. It's like, look, man, we got to protect the motherland.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But it's like what Muhammad Ali was saying before he got put, you know, because he got threatened, well, he got in jail, innit?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't go fight these dudes. And he was saying, like, I ain't got no beef with them. Why am I going over there to kill these men for? I got problems here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how people feel now. Like, people got problems in America. Why am I fighting these Iranians dudes? What for?
Remember
So I'm being told they hate our freedom or some shit. Like, I don't buy that.
Yeah,
No one's buying that.
they're hating our freedom over there, though.
Yeah, exactly. Whilst, you know, people over there are like, we must fight to protect our women and children. Here, Babylon, you got dudes in the planet, bro. you know what I mean, a Marine veteran,
Yeah.
got his arm snapped,
Yeah.
saying, "We don't want to fight for
Exactly.
Israel." You know what I mean? But he was in the spirit, bro.
I'm saying, look, and most people feel like that, bro.
I don't fight
That's why
for
there's no vote on whether or not they should go to war or not. They're not asking the people.
But it's funny how the narrative of these the Brits changes. Remember 2 weeks ago, these Brits are basically Jews. They, yeah, we got to protect Israel and all that.
Yeah.
But then now that gas prices going up and the petrol pump is getting a bit dear, they're like, you know what? Let's protect our country.
Well, what happens to the whole Palestinian thing when they're back in the Palestinians?
That's what I'm saying.
And the marches and the shit.
Yeah.
Where's that gone now?
Yeah.
It's hypocrites,
We
bro.
don't even talk about them no more.
Let me grab this real quick. We was talking about the bully doesn't know.
Mm.
This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them.
Time and chance, man. The scripture says that in the days of adversity, there's a forgetfulness of basically prosperity. You know what I mean? No, and that's why the scripture says, like in Ezekiel 38, as we keep reading, it's about going into the land of unwalled villages where they're without care. That's Babylon. You know, that's Babylon, and obviously the state of Israel. You know, they're just comfortable. You know, thinking that they're just never going to be touched, and one day they're going to find out that's not the case.
It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are caught are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them.
It's such a beautiful analogy.
Yeah.
So beautiful, man. Everyone's done fishing.
Yeah.
Everyone's done fishing, bro. These fish don't know what the fuck going on, bro.
Brothers do
Stop
fishing.
water.
They just-
They don't know nothing.
Yeah, but these sons, you just
Yeah. Man think they're getting fed. Yeah. Getting cooked. You know what I'm saying? And so this is
you're
what's
feeding
happening.
me.
Straight on the
Bro,
Yeah. That's what's happening in America, man.
Go have
These
some
people-
car there, he's playing some roots tunes.
So
It's so
They don't know the
So
preparations that go in here, bro. They don't know.
parsley out, rosemary. No, and let's make it happen.
And then they're totally oblivious to the Most High's intentions.
Yeah.
What he's trying to do with these men. You know, but we have clarity in what he wants to do. You know?
Fair enough.
It goes on to say, Ezekiel 38 and 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army.
So what that's going into is Russia used to be a force, man. Right? During the time of the Soviet era, it used to be a force. A good documentary to watch is Turning Point, Cold War on Netflix. Right? Goes into what was happening all throughout that period of time. Right? But yeah, Russia was basically up there, man. They had spies, they had certain things, but it also shows you how the Lord basically ended the USSR, like just different issue here, an issue there, and then over a period of time it got weaker. Division.
Same thing there.
Right, because basically they had certain groups of people that they basically absorbed into the USSR that weren't really feeling the USSR, but like they got absorbed into it, right? Same way, you have a lot of nations that have been absorbed into the American sphere of influence that really ain't on it like that, right? They're trying to move away, but it's like America's just there like, nah. But that over a period of time, right, basically weakened the USSR, right, as certain bits that started falling off, right, to the point where there was nothing left.
Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Because they were forced to. They were kind of forced to drink that wine. Because America makes it very difficult for you just to run your own shit.
That's it.
Yeah, because he always interferes, right? Like you can't just, be doing your own thing, right? Because he still wants something you got. So he's gonna come in and bring out his hand, yeah, we do a deal and all this kind of stuff. And next, he's fucking everybody over.
Yeah,
And so, these wars start happening. It's because he still doesn't stay at home.
that's it.
big character.
Even what do you call it? You look at Japan, right? That's a Reason why I like the Japan example, right, is because there are certain things that are public knowledge, right? So, for instance, it is public knowledge that the US basically forced the emperor post World War II to become a puppet. Right now, people.
I think they even showed it in that movie, The Last Samurai.
Right.
You know, that's where I think where I first saw that. You know, but yeah, because the emperor was like young. He was young.
Yeah.
And he weren't really. He didn't have the attributes, let's say, innit?
Yeah.
It was easily, forced, innit? And they just gave in and allowed them to do what they wanted to do.
That's
it.
Yeah, no, but that's it. It's like they is evidence that like they made the emperor a puppet of the United States. Because the reason I started going into it, I was like, why was it that the best economy was America and Japan, but America dropped bombs on Japan? And basically they used the emperor to basically get the people on side, right? With the new way of doing things, right? Point just being, those people, those Japanese, they were a certain way that America came and was like, nah, you gonna be my way, right? But they ain't
Now you
really.
all wear suits.
Now you wear suits. Now you've got a high suicide rate. Now you've got a low birth rate, right? Because you follow the way of Esau. Now you've got a white worship epidemic in your country, because that whole region is full of hella dark people. You know, the whole of East Asia, they're actually dark skinned people, like, but yeah,
Remember that dude, like,
you know, but
brown as hell.
yeah, but the point is, it's like they fell under the traps of the Edomite system, man, right? And they really ain't with it, right? But what point, going back to what we was reading in the scripture, right, is that now the Lord is putting the USSR that once was broken up, the Lord is putting the spirit to rebuild it up. As nations are seeing America's weak, this whole thing, you have a lot of nations that were like, yo, I don't think they can protect us.
But not only because it didn't start because America was weak. It started because America was unfucking fair, right? And they started to gravitate to each other because they need to overcome this whole American hegemony thing.
Yeah.
That's why you got the BRICS nations and all these things that was kind of being built up because America's been assholes, right? And so there was a need to be strong to combat that financially and militarily.
You know what it's called as well? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That's right. You know, China and Russia are neighbors, so you might as well do the deals. They're a big nation, right? And they're on the up as well, so let's do
You know what? Putin touched on that on his interview.
What with Tucker?
Yeah, he was like, bro, because of our border, even if we don't want to work together, we have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
China wants to build. They need energy. We have energy.
And we need money. So
Exactly.
so that energy, bro. We need oil.
He basically said it. Whether we're trying to like it or not, we got to work together.
They have
bro.
interest. There's interest there, isn't it? They're that close together. You might as well, isn't it? Like that's why neighbors are important. Because America's kind of split the world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a good point, because even when he went carving the world out, right? He didn't care about that these people were aligned. He didn't care about these people weren't aligned. Because when you go into the eastern part of Russia, you have a whole load of people that look like they're probably from China anyway, right?
So the whole point of them getting together is to come off the reliance of dealing with America. So they've been making moves because obviously back in the USSR days, I don't know how close the ties between China and them were, but it's like, but then they were actively working.
Back when, sorry?
Back when the USSR was in place, how close China and that were together.
China and Russia.
Yeah,
they were boys.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were boys. They were boys.
But obviously having to work together to offshift what America's doing. And that's why they're doing deals in Africa. That's why they're doing deals in the West Asia, Southwest Asia. So they can grow and be stronger as a unit compared to NATO, essentially. Because America just take the piss, as they all know.
So yeah, because basically that's why they both ended up having communism.
Yeah.
They both ended up having communism. And what was it? Because I think it was Japan was doing a fuckery in China. That's what's going to show you what the effects of Esau. The Japanese went from being hard men, like actual just cold killers, to being soft boys, bro. It's funny. Soy boy. It's funny. Unit 52 or something like that. It was a particular Japanese unit where they were doing some next level experiments on them Chinese, man. They were actually doing the most. Japanese were doing the most.
As it goes on, let me finish it off. On the and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sort of armor,
submarines.
I mean, even back in Iran, bro, they they basically said, look, what we're sending you is our OG. It's just so that you can waste your money, man. But I mean, like even so many drones that they got. I think there's like $30,000 per certain of them drones, which can be made regularly. But then you're using missiles and shit, that's like 600K, a million. It's just not balanced. I'm saying it's not balanced.
Yep.
But they're wearing them out.
Yeah, and the air defense systems in that region are cooked, which is why would you call there was a news article because Israel ain't really trying to speak on it too tough, but there was a news article that came out which was basically saying that the response, so they would get an early warning, right, about like when for them to go into their air raid shelters, right? But basically the news articles like, oh yeah, the IDF says that the warnings will get shorter. They didn't explain why they'll get shorter, but then when you start understanding and learning about the air defense system, but the air defense system. Yeah, so the way the air defense system works and the early warning system works, right? God, I look adorable.
Well, that's him, man. That's him, bro. I have to ask him, like,
I was gonna say you got a great one.
A great one as well.
that's him.
But yeah, the way the early warning system works is obviously it would see it like the missiles incoming, right, and then send a notification, and then people will get an early warning. Now, the fact that they're no longer getting an early warning notice shows that the entire air defense system around, in front of all of that system, in front of Israel, has basically been destroyed.
Yeah, like their radar and shit.
Yeah.
No.
And if they have killed my man, that's a precision strike. Because the Chinese have been long, like before the war even started, they were basically taking high-res footage of American ships, American planes, and everything like that, and giving it to the public.
it goes on to say, even a great company with backers and shields.
Yeah, so that's all there's the systems, you know what I mean? The missiles, drones, everything.
So with a great company, right?
The great company.
That's why it's not just Russia.
Yeah.
You know? So we know that's why we pay close attention to the ties that these nations have with each other. You know, and although there's no official defense pact between some of these nations, right, they do have interest in these regions, right? And so they're gonna go protect their shit. They're not gonna let America just take it or destroy it. And so they're gonna have to intervene or protect it or do something about it.
And think about you spend a long time losing. Losing sometimes can be motivation. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? If you have like prime example in boxing, like let's take the example of Charles Sonny Liston, right? There was a period of time he was like the most dominant heavyweight. Beat the hell out of Floyd Patterson. Like he was just, everyone was scared to fight. Like Charles, people say he's the first like real super heavy. He was just tremendous. People was breaking down like shut on fights. But then, because of his winning streak, he had a younger fighter by the name of Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, that was studying him. You know what I mean? Like studying how to beat him. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually he got beaten and overwhelmed. Some say he took a dive or whatever, but just on paper he was beaten. And that's how it goes. So point is with Babylon, spent many years showing your hand. You know what I mean? You showed your hand for many years. And then now somebody's learning how exactly to target you. It's like, all right, you got fighter jets, so we just make
That's been that
anti, you know what I mean?
yeah, anti-aircraft. So that's I remember hearing that years ago. But that's been Russia's military strategy because like America has a what are you hearing? They're gonna raise it to 1.5 trillion. But I can't even count to a trillion. Like,
Forever.
You got counter missiles.
oh, yo. Right? But that's it. It's like when they're talking about 1.5 trillion defense budget, no one else can match that. No one else can match it. So you
Because the reason because there was a currency, they can print their money. Right? They'll just tax the people. That's how America. I thought America is, man. Like people are suffering now, and they're just
It's the
going to
ultimate scam, you know.
It's free money,
bro. It's basically just let's
Everyone pay for it.
and everyone else, yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's it. So that's why, like, for instance, aircraft carriers, America wins. But guess what? Russia has the Onyx, right? You know, just one.
Isn't it? How many aircraft carriers they got? Like 8. It's not as many. It's not as many as you might think. But they have the most, but I don't think it's that many.
The maintenance is ridiculous, isn't it?
It's costly, right? And like Bob's about to go into, but there's all these missiles. All you have to do is take it out.
11 nuclear powered US. But I think, but
They can all hold like 8 jets or some shit.
I think there's because this is aircraft carriers, but they've got a lot of not just other regular use ones, because you get ones which are like, because when you look at the AEGIS system ones, I think that's what it's called. Like, for instance, to take out Maduro, they had, I think, the aircraft carrier, but they had a lot of support ships that do other things as well. So in terms of their navy, I know they got more ships than just the 11. But the main one that they were talking about, the USS Abraham or something like that, whatever it's called, that can hold 5,000 people. So it's like taking that out. That's worse than 9/11 on paper. You know.
But what I'm saying is though, those aircrafts are not that many.
Yeah.
Russia got bare missiles.
Yeah, that's true.
They got bare missiles.
That's true.
Right?
That's
And
true.
one of these next ones will take one of these carriers out.
Yeah.
Quick time. So they've gone for the more efficient spending route to defeat these things that are just sitting ducks essentially.
Yeah.
In terms of these aircraft carriers, because you take out the aircraft carrier, you take out the aircraft on the carrier too.
Yeah.
And they don't have the air power no more because they need to take off from the sea. And if you can't do that, they're not going to send their jets from America because it's going to be hard. They have to stop somewhere to refuel. And Iran's taking out all the infrastructure for that right now. So what are you going to do about that? You're in a kind of sticky situation, right? And this is when, you know, these other nations then start to smell blood.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to defeat you. Right? Yeah. There's now a way to defeat you. And when the opportunity arises, that's when man will come in.
Yeah. The irony is they say, oh, we wanted to take out Khamenei so that, you know, the Iranian people will rise up. Well, when the oil price keeps going up,
Your
right?
people gonna rise.
They're gonna rise up. Those Americans are gonna rise up.
It goes on to say, all of them undering swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya.
Persia, man. Like threes when they change their name to Iran. I mean, and it's aligned. It's lining up. You know, and bro, like that terrain over there, man, them mountains, it's a tough cookie for them to crack. You know what I mean? Because it's like now you know, it's like, you know what they say, oh, this guy's got the home advantage. You know, it's like that's what happened to them in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Bro, like some of the stories you hear in Vietnam, bro, like it'll be like a US soldier going into a bar, sits down and explodes up. Because like the booby traps and like oh, shit was happening to people.
You know, I feel quite ironic, quite funny, right? It's funny that Iran is Persia, right? And Alexander was the first Edomite to before they come a real power like that. They beat the Persians, right? But now the Persians are getting their lick back. Quite funny.
This is the Xerxes.
1-1. No one's like, no, that's how it is, man.
But that's why. But this is one thing we do know is America's got some tricks up its sleeves, and whether they start bringing them up because when you start
they're
looking,
still weapons, bro. You know what I mean? But
because the thing is, it's like we talk about their main drones, but they got other kinds of drones. You know them Palantir style drones,
Laser beams.
they still got laser beams, and
laser
stuff.
beams, and that.
Because no one's talking about nukes yet. You know what I mean? No one's even speaking about that. America got the nukes they wanted to.
Well, I
You know?
believe
Doomsday.
what was that system that was used with the double like on the school the double tap.
Oh,
There's a system or starts with a C. There's basically like a AI confirmation system
right,
where it like
Oh no! So I think that was a bit of a because they said they called it they use Claude.
Claude, that was it.
Claude, yeah,
But basically,
Yeah.
like, it will assess the threat and
yeah. So because Claude is a commercial software, if you will.
yeah.
So the intricacies of that, I'm not entirely sure
Yeah.
because Claude is a commercial AI.
Yeah.
But like, because I've heard Scott Rittam, he said that, innit? They use Claude, but basically they used Anthropic.
will.
They use Anthropic, who make Claude.
Yeah.
They use Anthropic systems, so I think that's why they called it Claude. But yeah. Point being, I'm just being a bit dancing.
No, but the point is, like, we've been talking about this.
Yeah.
We've been remember, Robert did videos on this time ago about the ESO uses AI system.
Yeah.
Has a scoring mechanism, and he will decide from then on die. and it's been used in warfare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even that's something that Scott Ritter touched on. Like how there's a different spectrum of warfare. People actually blowing up the servers, and you know what I mean. So it's interesting. Man.
Asymmetric warfare, man. Yeah. Because once again, Iran knew they can't defeat America, but you can weaken them.
Yeah.
Right. So
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
That's what they say, isn't it? Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets.
So there's gonna be more nations that come into the fray. So that's why these partnerships they're gonna matter. You know, because Russia's been supporting a lot of these weaker nations. That's why these weaker nations say, going to say I'm strong.
Yeah.
You know, because they have backing, right?
Okay, I was just about to ask chat on that because I remember looking into it before to get exactly in terms of map when it's talking about Ethiopia and Libya. There, it actually covers quite a large bit of the north and east of modern day Africa.
Yeah.
Now, would you call it? I know it's a bit west, but when you look at the Wagner group, right, which is like a Russian paramilitary group, right? They be all up in Western Africa and that part of the world, the region, right? So basically, going into proving what the scripture does.
As it goes on to say, Gomar and all his bands.
So we mentioned Goma early, Turkey.
Turkey.
I mentioned that early.
Turkey going to the small.
They're waiting to flip, man.
Yeah.
They're waiting to flip.
Bro, they said it. Turkey is the new Iran.
Mm.
So what have they done to Iran? What do they want to do?
I'm not entirely sure. What did they do for the Israelis to call them that? What did they do?
Bro, like if you, it's just
Small hats
it's just
with small hats.
the small hats and the small hats.
I just want to know if it happened. They did something.
But it's just the whole, because really it's the whole the thing, innit? Go to Israel, the whole go to Israel. So they're trying to like reclaim the real.
Oh, so Turkey's against them expanding.
Yeah. No, but there's some of the borders of the original
What the Turkey's going to do with that?
promised land and that.
Turkey's going to have to do that though. It's not on their borders. Oh, it should be.
It goes on to say, Gomar and all his bands, the house of Togomar, of the North Quarter, and all his bands, and many people with thee.
So many other nations, man. More nations gathering together with with Russia and stuff like that. Yeah. Letting the weak say I'm strong. Because guess what? Russia is like supplying these other nations. Military training, military weapons, protection. I think later on it says to be a guard unto them.
As it goes on in the room.
No, too far, isn't it? Turkey.
Be thou prepared and prepared for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Right, so Russia's been playing that role of defending these weaker nations, man.
Yeah.
Helping out with intelligence, military systems, doing deals with them basically to make them stronger. Because if they can make more money, they can buy more missile systems, and so they can develop more weapons and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to be in the same position no more. So, like, no one's saying they can go and take on America, but with the help of their friends, they are forced. They have to be concerned about. And so they're going to band together like the Avengers to come against, against America.
Qatar let her play now.
You mentioned before, all these nations, they see that America is not there to protect them. So they're going to choose,
Well, they don't even want to protect their own allies.
They didn't want to protect their own people.
Yeah,
They let the Americans there.
Yeah, that's the so it's like, who is America? Like, what they're doing? No one's feeling confident with them around, man. They're causing problems, and amongst their own people.
Boy, you get certain people that shouldn't own dogs, man.
Luckily, got small dogs, bro.
It's Maduro's dog.
Yeah, luckily got small dogs, man.
Oh no, I saw a chick earlier on. The dog was walking her.
Yeah. Yeah, don't buy a beast that's more powerful than you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's that?
Yeah. We read it in Jeremiah. Teeth of wild beasts. Man. Dogs to tear.
Yeah, you did a little bit more. Is that it?
yeah, I mean,
We can carry on into that now.
Not this morning.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 38:8. After many days, thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountain.
So, but read that so again, bro.
Ezekiel 38:8. After many days, thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountain of Israel, which have been always worst, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
So yeah, the real Israelites, eventually, when we inhabit the land, we gonna dwell safe, man.
And that's the stupid thing about it, man. If these men are supposed to be fulfilling prophecy, why aren't these men safe?
Why they kind of leave?
Why isn't the Most High there or protecting them? Why isn't King David there? Why isn't a lot of things happening there? There's so much questions, but no one wants to answer it. They just want to, shuffle, they just want to stick it off. Yeah. But evidently, these men ain't feeling no prophecy of no chosen people. That's why they're suffering. That's why we're not suffering. They're getting terrorized by man, because no one wants you there, because you're not meant to be there. You think that the truth is, like, when they get there, you think anyone's going to say anything about it or do anything about it? Oh no, them men are going to be in order, bro. They're going to accept their roles and their lots the Most High gave them from the beginning. Because they're not going to have no power, no resistance, and all this sort of business. You got no real claim to that land. That's the honest truth about it.
That's why you move like a vagabond, man. Like I said, I've worked with Amalek before, right? And it's like when you're, let's say it's like it's lunch, walking with corgis and that, like the way they'll be moving, shifting, man. And it's like I was like, yeah, that's because you know that you ain't it, man.
Like if you're the Lord's chosen people, you're meant to be like the top G in the earth, bro. Why are you moving? Why are you moving shook for? Why are you moving like a pussy, blood? Victimized. Bro, you're top G on the earth. Most I made you top G above all the nations, and you're acting like you're scared, bro. That doesn't make no sense.
It's going to say, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy band, and many people with thee.
Yeah, the military man.
Stormtrooper.
Thus said the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things, it shall come to pass, thus said the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come unto thee and to thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Wow, when I hear that precept, man, it's like just the way it's articulated. Yeah, things are gonna come into your mind. You know, like things. You know, you just go
that evil thought, man.
yeah. Where it's just like, things are gonna come into your mind.
Yeah.
What things?
And it makes sense, you know. Remember, Apostle Sahar recently was going into like the 10th part of the city fell. Like, you know, in the pop portion of America could be hit. And they're trying to like strike a deal, and it's like, nah, man, you couldn't do it all.
Yeah, because once again, Russia just took an L recently from you know, a British manufactured missile.
Yeah.
And basically, what has come up from this war? People getting a crash course in the laws of war, right? It's like if someone hits you, then that place is then a legitimate target, right? So, yeah.
And you know, these things, like, you might have heard the expression, man, you know, you might lose some battles, but you can still win the war type. There's going to be skirmishes and conflict these men might lose and make them, you know, at that time look weaker in certain situations. But overall, America's losing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But even on that, though, because Russia's been taking L's, right? They lost Syria, right? I mean, just optically, right? Because we understand that there's a lot more that actually happens behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily get spoken of, right? But they lost Syria, right? You know, Bashar al-Assad had to flee, which, you know, it was unconfirmed. You know, you never really know what you read on the internet nowadays. But allegedly, right, the Russians offered to basically let Khamenei and them come to Russia, right? But it was like, nah, we go and stay, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it's all they really did by taking man out is made him a mark. Yeah, that's all they did.
So they just put another person in there.
Because he
And
was
apparently they got to him,
Yeah.
like he disfigured or some shit now. I'm like, I don't know.
like he killed, like, 'cause that's what people were saying, was like, bro, you killed an old 86-year-old man in his house. Come on. Like, because our intelligence, we found him, we did this and that, and those people
And the way they were talking about it is like, how terrible was this man?
Like,
Like, the way they were talking about it is like, how terrible was this man?
but come to find
Man, I
out,
love him, bro.
Apparently, he's
man
not
love
on his
him, bro.
way out, like from his health. Apparently,
right.
he's already cooked.
Yeah.
Just have to wait.
but come to find
Definitely,
out, right? Because once again, this is one, because people in the West aren't, quote unquote, they don't actually believe in anything apart from themselves, right? So they don't understand that they don't really understand the gravity of what I'm about to say. But he had a fatwa in their religion. It's like a holy oath.
Fatwa. That's like a real brick. That's like a real brick.
One of those.
What are those? A fatwa, right? He had a fatwa saying we ain't gonna make nukes.
Yeah.
But
Taking him out.
exactly. Right, and because that man in those parts of the world actually religious, if because that's basically like the Pope. Like, you know how these bloody Latinos get whenever anything a Pope related comes up, whatever. That's how those people are when it comes to that into their religion. But then not only have you taken the man out that said, nah, we ain't gonna make nukes, right? He made the people, that was his thing. We ain't gonna make nukes, and replaced him with a man.
No such word.
No. Worse than that, those are quite. With a man whose dad got killed, his son got killed,
His whole family pretty much.
his wife got killed,
Yeah.
and his nephew.
All guns,
Yeah.
Like,
Motivation, bro.
well, imagine like you see
Motivation.
you see how man get when like their wife dies.
Oh,
So then not only was it your wife, your son as
Son,
well,
bro.
and dad.
Nah.
You got motivation.
Bro, but if he crashes out, can you blame him?
It sounds like one of those movies. Yeah, you're rooting for the guy to get his dick back.
Yeah.
You know,
Even it's
like
like
he's the
even
bad guy in the story. You know,
even the guy that allegedly did that thing the other day, right, at the synagogue in America, right? Come to find out, allegedly, that he had 4 members of his family killed in Lebanon from a strike, and that's why he crashed out.
I have a quick one. This is Isaiah 13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right? And it says, they come from a far country, from even the end of heaven, even the Lord and his weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. You know, and that's going to end in Babylon's destruction, man. My God. Bro, again, it makes sense. It makes sense why it's America, bro. The hindermost part. You know what I mean? Bro, it's on the other side, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Babylon was just in the middle, bro. And it's like landlocked with other nations. You destroy that. You know what I mean? Obviously, the Lord can have a force field, but still, it's crazy, man.
Well, I think it builds on America's pride, right? We spoke about it last week about what Zelensky said. It was like, you've got water around you, you know? So that's good. When the guy up to the north of you is an ally, and the guys to the south of you, like, what's Mexico going to do? You know,
Hector ain't trying to do nothing. He just
Exactly.
trying to cut this grass, pick the strawberries,
Exactly.
make a nice tackle.
Yeah. It's like when I saw that article saying that California's on alert for drones, but I just laughed. I shared it. I was like, bro, this is some bullshit. Because what? Iran's gonna drone attack California? Yeah. How? How, Sway?
oh, because they stole 3 drones or 4 drones out of the military compound. Like, how does that even happen? It's not they can't just walk in there, walk out. Bro, you have to get a truck in there, bro. And everything. How did you?
Exactly.
It didn't get stolen, bro. It got moved. They moved it and said that it was taken.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way that a train full of or a truck full of military grade weapons can just end up in the hood. It's like, oh, it just happened to break down here.
There's no way.
I have a bit more on this. Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So
The rush of the tide of all these bogey ass deals that you're trying to do with it, man.
nothing to talk about.
But that's actually been the thing now. That's been keeps coming out. Is basically, was it Witkoff? I think Witkoff and Kushner. Guys were like, look, each time Witkoff and Kushner come, right afterwards you die.
Like, they might even talk to man getting blown up at the same time.
Yeah, the next day it's getting blown up. And they said it's not just the fact that it happened once, it happened again. Right? So twice they've been in negotiations, and the Amman mediator was put it on record. Like, you lot had a deal. Like, these guys they gave you a good deal. You know, he came on record so that the whole world knew, so that they couldn't come back and be like, well, no, the Iranians weren't trying to negotiate. No, it's you.
Yeah.
It's scumbaggery.
Like, you know, when you really look and break it down, it's like
He's the serpent.
Oh, what was in his heart?
what was in his heart?
Bro.
That was literally it.
Oh, in fact, a quick scripture on that directly. This is Psalms 55 and the 20th verse. It says, he have put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant.
Yep.
So even like, look, man, this nuclear deal, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, all right, you can oversee what I've got. And it's like, nah, fuck it.
Want to break international law on that.
You know?
But let's be real, man. The Obama deal where they were allowed to do their nuclear enrichment or whatever, I think was happening. Iran was chilled, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you know Trump, revokes that and that Geneva is the most ridiculous deal ever.
Yeah.
And now he's moving in war with them. And now he's talking about, oh, you might get attacked.
Preemptive strike. We had to do it.
Bro, they
Whose fault was that then if you get attacked? If you're gonna get double, terrorist mans come in and do things like, whose fault's that?
Yeah.
These men weren't doing nothing to you before.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
do you know what it's like? I'm thinking about, let's say you live in a place where you got gangsters nearby, right?
Yeah.
Like mob bosses, or we mentioned, them Latin American place where you got them cartels. You might just be a civilian in that place, and my man kind of violates it. I'm sorry, my man, right? Because you don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
But what Iran was doing was like, look, I know one day I might have to try do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna die.
I'm gonna
Like,
do it.
it's gonna be a line. But that point I'm trying to make is people, when they know there's a big old bully on the block, they're just trying to do their thing.
Yeah.
They're just hoping that, all right, cool, hopefully he don't pick on me till I just
stay out the way.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you fuck with them too much and they start going kamikaze, man.
Exactly. Yeah, kamikaze. You get certain, you push people to a point which, it seems like they've been pushed to that point where it's like, look, man, you've been taken, you've crossed the line.
I got more. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords.
Right? And there's so much wisdom in these scriptures, man. Like, when you know the identity of Esau, like, you know not to make these silly mistakes in it.
That's one of the reasons I say Hosea 4 and 6, man. Right, an important lack of knowledge, an important bit of knowledge, right, that our people don't have is who the devil is and who our enemies are, right? Which is why you'll see, man, it's always a sad sight. You know them ones when you just see a Jake and like he's in a group of Edomites, right? It's like a straight up Jake in a group of what?
See
Look,
that get out.
yeah, exactly. And then they're all laughing and joking, and then because I say, when I was in primary school, that was me. Right, I didn't know. Yeah,
Who's in the sunken place?
no, but it was I was just the environment I grew up in, right? But one thing now I can identify, you'll see it. There'll be like, let's say 2 or 3 of them, right? And then you have just one Jake. Like the 2 Edomites will be standing closer to each other than with the Jake. It's just one of the things that I always look at, I always observe. No, but the point being is that Jake. You see Benjamin. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's just like Jake will be in those environments trying to laugh, trying to joke, trying to be one of them. But you ain't one of them.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they're kind of like standing more with each other than with you is proof that they every like the
Kind of like
a self-thought.
That's right. That's how it was. That's how it's been made. And the Lord never made us to be one people. That's why He separated us.
Yeah.
So always gonna like our own kind. And those that are like you. Because even in your own kind, there's different mentalities of people. So you ought to be around people like yourself, right? That's why we're already part of the world. When we want people out in the world that we treat you like that, who you know at work or whatever, you might conversate with them a little bit. But generally, you spend most of the time with each other by ourselves.
Yeah, because it was I'm trying to think of the one on the Apocrypha, man. Birds Floor, you got that one.
Yeah.
And then but you got the one where it's like clump. It's like a clump, it's like I made their ways diverse, is it?
That's Sirach 33, isn't it?
And this is Sirach 33 and 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge hath he divided them and made their ways diverse. Right? So Jake, we just want to, certain things that as Jake that we prefer to do, right? That like, bro, like clean.
Yeah.
Elam, yeah. You
I was actually clean at the day, man.
I'm being serious. Elam, yeah. You know the head roll they do?
Yeah.
That's actually their thing.
Yeah.
No, it actually is. I'm not even mocking them.
Oh, brother.
Because I think in their language, they're as part of their language, it's actually a type of,
it's their nod.
that stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's how it's how you talk your hand. That's their thing. Like there's, because I remember
Naturally bubble.
Bro, I remember back in the day when I was going to Ghana. Like, you know what I mean, I was I was gonna get in a flight, and I bumped into like a freshie that came to watch the test cricket. And this dude, even when I was talking and he was silent, in the middle of the conversation, he was going. I was like, "Oh shit!" But that's the
language.
that's part of their language. You know, even though we bubbleheads, we made their ways diverse. Part of they made their ways diverse, man.
It's come out that Shiso don't like to shower. You know,
I mean, that's something we've been with.
yeah, few days. Yeah, but I saw one page like this chick was like, it's funny how it's funny how this one Edomite woman, she was like, it's funny how I'll be hella like pedantic about cleaning my baby bottles, but like I will let my child breastfeed whilst I haven't showered for a week after coming from the gym. I was like,
Wow.
did you put that out in the ether? Like,
And then obviously, we also have salt and vinegar titty.
but the thing is, like, you know how them man, you know, play in the bedroom, so it's just like, so what else don't you clean?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't be clean as an eater.
Bro,
I love me a white woman.
Nice little pink foot.
Why not? It's just put in the bathtub. So let's go.
In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted. Some of them have he sanctified and set near himself.
and we should know who this is, right? It tells you who this
Romans
is.
9.
What?
Yeah,
Right? Deuteronomy 7:6. It tells you clearly who those people are.
it says our forefather was a plain man walking in tents. Yeah. If you go into a plain, it's like perfect, morally upright. It actually even mentions he was physically strong. You know, I mean, he wrestled the angel. I'm saying she wasn't, you know,
For no punk.
she's sure no punk. No, you know what I mean?
And it does something knowing that that's your forefathers, man.
Yeah, it's sort of like Jake that, you know, don't have a father,
Mm-hmm.
and then you might find out about your father, and then it gives you, you know how he was or whatever. It gives you a bit more self-esteem, and that's why children who have their fathers in life, they always turn out better.
Those ain't mad criminals.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Doing time.
especially if he's, you know,
Bare murder and
involved
shit.
in prison.
But then you think about all of the stuff that Esau has pushed in our mind. Yeah. Pushed this idea that we don't amount to anything. But these times it's like we're the greatest.
People are the great. That's right.
Yeah. It goes on to say, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places.
Right, and that would be Esau specifically. Right, these other nations, they're not blessed like we're blessed, but they're not as low as Esau either. You know, because Esau is literally cursed. He has a cursed lineage. And all these heathens, they're just under. You know.
Yep. It says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render them as liketh best.
Right, so the Most High made us different for reasons, right? And those reasons are his own. Right, so who he decides to make his chosen people, and who he decides he don't want to make his chosen people, or the people that he hates, he's his prerogative, man. He's the potter, right? And none of us have a say in that. None of us have I object. Lord ain't trying to hear your objections. You know what I mean? It is what it is. He made them for purposes, man. You know, and he gonna show you how much he hates Esau, and how much he loves his people, right? And there's no other outcome from that. You know?
Decent. Romans 9, verse 21. Says, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
And you see how the Most High gives that, basically we're giving the comparison that we're like inanimate objects, essentially. Like, we don't have no say, nothing. Yeah, we got this idea, we got free will, and we got emotions, and you think that matters? You think that matters to the Most High because he gave us emotions? You think that's going to, change his decision on certain things because you don't agree?
Yeah.
Bro, you're a pot. You're a damn pot. Like, shut up, man. To sit there, be what you're supposed to be. Right? So yeah, the Most High is not hearing what we got to say in terms of those things. Right? Because he made everything specifically. It's his world, bro. He made the tree to be the tree. What if he made you the tree? You kind of fucked it because you can't go nowhere with your emotions. Oh, I'm just standing here. You know what I mean? The Lord made everything for its purpose. You just have to deal with that. You know? It's a shame for some because hey, you're gonna get fucked up in it. It is what it is. You know?
Especially for Esau, because he ain't gonna enjoy the kingdom.
Yeah, that was my point. Yeah. It's a shame for him, innit?
Verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
And that's Esau. He is that vessel that was made on the earth. Yeah. To be the subject of the Lord's anger.
So it's only right. This guy's out of control, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
really,
that's-
he's really under the Lord's control.
But it's the thing, when you
Secret
learn these things,
places.
you can't blame the Lord, man. It's like, yeah, this guy is out of control. He probably would be better if we just threw him in the bin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be better for everybody.
Yes.
Like
That's Psalm 73.
And it's and when you find out that's what the Lord tends to do, it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's true.
Yeah. It says that in Psalm 73, until I went into the sanctuary, then I understood that they end. And surely that has, because basically the first part of the psalm is like a righteous one. It's like, man, these guys throwing wealth. These man, you know, it's been wicked concerning oppression. They did this, man, fuck you niggas. And then basically, it's you know, until I got the breakdown. You know what I mean? You know, for real, because you know, all of us brothers seen how life is with Esau. And you're like, bro, why have they got it?
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
but that's why people love the idea of hell. Because they see these Edomites doing the most and see, bro, people will know personally some wickedness that Elizabeth and Philip did, but then they just see them die peacefully. They want them to suffer. They want judgment. But that's what we then learn and understand is no, okay, it may seem like they have got away scot-free, but now they're gonna come back and they're gonna suffer. They're gonna be in pain.
That's Isaiah 14.
Yeah.
And that's the Lazarus and the rich man parable. You know, it's when it was the rich man's time to get, you know, that hell. You know, he was expecting mercy, and they're like, nah. In your lifetime,
Good thing.
you was doing good. So now it's time for Lazarus, you know, which is a allegory for the nation of Israel, to be, you know, comforted. You know, for Abraham's bosom, as the scripture says, which Abraham is one of the fathers of the promise, and the promise is for Israel, you know, and you know, to whom pertaineth the covenants, the law, you know, and the promises, man. You know, so that's going to be our time to be comforted. You know?
So your promise is destruction.
Why do you still need comfort? Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a fat dude on a couch needs a treadmill, not fucking more donuts. You know what I mean?
But like,
You know?
not even using that example, right? Because it really is the things that enjoy this world, right?
Yeah.
What do they need comfort for?
That's what I'm saying.
Man, it's good. Beyond good here.
Yeah.
They're beyond good here, bro. They don't need the kingdom.
No.
They really don't need the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know?
So they can get all of the
Yeah, everything.
baby blood they want.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing
they
off the table
can
for them.
get, you know what I mean? You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
well, this dude has 9 heart transplants. Where you get 9 heart transplants? What have you got a fridge in the back
What kind of waiting list is that?
by the left?
What kind of waiting list is
Yeah,
for
yeah,
9?
yeah. Waiting list,
Bro,
bro.
if you wanted one, you couldn't get a waiting
Yeah.
list, bro. Isn't
And,
it?
and I'm sure, you know, he's dark, bro. I'm sure, like, because, you know, with some, like,
Bring your own in.
yeah, basically.
You know, he just brings his own into the hospital or whatever.
Because you know what's interesting about that kind of stuff as well. Remember, with these surgeries and organs, they have a shelf life on how quick they can be frozen for before they got reattached. Don't even
Big black market as
Yeah.
well, that is.
yeah, and like a lot of these cartels have been used for fucking organ harvesting.
And you wonder why they chop a man up and stuff like that. It's because of these
Yeah,
things.
because what they've been shown by Esau.
Yeah, because you know now you say because remember in some of the torture things,
They'll make them eat
Yeah, but some of the statements that came out afterwards, it was like these guys were surgical with
Yeah,
it. You know, so obviously they're keeping it
Yeah.
for thing because yeah.
So
Man butchers,
yeah.
bro. It's butchering man up.
So
Not be.
don't be surprised. You know, the dude needs the heart. The person is alive next to him. It's take his heart out. You know what I mean?
Well, they would say that the Aztecs are not known for that type of shit anyway. You know, man, take a man's heart out and shit.
In the
You know, so they got these Mexicans doing that type of crazy shit,
Yeah.
man. But that's what it seems like. That's what they're doing.
It's
So
funny.
they're violent with it, man.
Yeah, it's funny though because then you get Matt Walsh who'll point to that, right? Yeah, you see, there were savages. Savages. You know, exactly.
Exactly. Like, it's different, bro. Like even in the modern times, you know, we talk about how they operate on black women and their vaginas and that kind of shit. You're just vile, innit? You're just kind of vile, innit? You know, so don't act like you're any different. You know what I mean? Chopping off breasts and shit for no fucking reason. Like, yeah, just like that.
Jake will suck him. What are you doing?
You know, you're just twisted and warped, innit? But you know, like I said, you're no different. You know, you're no different from other men doing without understanding, bro.
Well, some news just broke. France has said in 10 warship for the Strait of Hormuz. After
Goodbye.
President Trump called on countries to join the U.S. Navy in an attempt to.
But I thought you'd won already.
I thought you
I
already
thought
won.
That's why you know it's bullshit. Why you after 10 ships? You already got 10 ships down there.
It says that the UK has declined to deploy it.
It's Starmer ain't that dumb.
It's like, what's the strategy? Yeah, should go down there.
Because once again, this is the point, right? It was never.
America don't even like the fucking thing, man. And that just shows you, man, how America holds the fucking leash of the beast. You can tell.
Really, they're just and you know what's a point that was the elder Ayala was touching on the video. Bro, they're crashing the system, man. They're crashing the system. This is just gonna lead to this is just gonna lead to more harsher standards of living and for them to bring the MOTB system up on earth. That's it. Because once that that dollar loses its value, basically everyone's in there anyway. Everyone's done.
I remember recently as well, like, I think the Iranians, they declared that, they haven't got no problem with the UK because they're not actively in the fight. What happens when you bring them into the fight now? Do they then become targets?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Of course.
And they're going to send their mans there, or, America's going to send mans there, however it goes down. And you're going to find places in Europe getting attacked.
Well, France, you give France about nine minutes, something's going to happen over here.
And that's the thing. It brings that collapse down because we need to get these, this MOTB in because of this, that.
But the problem with the whole situation is Iran hasn't, they've shot at some ships and stuff like that, and they've burned stuff like that. But in terms of mining, they haven't gone that far because once again, they don't need to. This is what, like, when it's an insurance thing, when a Lloyd's of London isn't going to insure your ship, you're not going anywhere. You can be like, we've got this aircraft carrier next to us. So,
so what are you gonna do if I do get blown up?
Exactly. And all that needs to happen is that one of them ships, and then no one's moving. And this is what they're not seeming to we understand, right? And the fact is, they understand it too. They've opened a can of worms that they can't close.
The second Ezra's 16 and 21. Behold, the victual shall be so good cheap on the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. You know what? Let me start from verse 17. Right, second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And look, this is the beginning of, evils. Because in order for a famine to take place, there has to be a systematic breakdown, on a mass scale.
Globally.
On a mass scale. You know what I mean? you know, and war. It's funny that it mentions famine, death, and then wars, and that's all happening simultaneously.
Yep, because
Yeah.
without the movement of oil, things like fertilizers,
Yeah,
can't basically it's either it gets more expensive to make. Yeah, I think it gets a lot more expensive to make. Obviously, this world is fertilizers a key thing.
yeah.
It's dependent.
Well, even on a lower level, it costs more for the lorry drivers to bring your
Exactly.
food on your table. So then you might have to shrink loads, and then it even might get to it will get to a stage where something's not on the shelf.
What we saw during COVID,
Yeah, we saw how that was.
you know, how expensive it got to send anything.
Yeah.
If it was moving, it was expensive to send. You know, and these companies, businesses were collapsing
Yeah.
because they're expensive. It all.
Mhm. And then the people who provide to the shop, like when like you kind of touched on this. When inflation is when price of food go up, the big corporations don't absorb the cost of it going up. They're just gonna put the prices on. It's like, all right, if this kind of sardine has to go through hell to get here, well, I'm putting the price up.
Yeah, into my pockets.
Yeah.
And who really can't absorb the cost of these small shops, right? And it's a thing. So you got the AI taking jobs, and then now you've got these systems, these geopolitical plays happening that are going to shut down other jobs, right? Your small factory, right? There's only so much stress a lot of these companies can take, but then more so, there's only so much stress a lot of these people can take, right? Once again, you have a lot of people that have been on the edge, right?
Showing that, I mean, when the America votes to use the tariff as well.
Yeah, because you still got that. Man, I sent you the thing, right? Yeah, the Porsche, which is like one of the most profitable brands in the world, right? One of the reason I think they I forgot it went like 93% loss in terms of profits, right? 1 year they were making, let's say 100 in profit, the next year they made 3, right? It's like that's just how much. There was a whole load of things, but one of the big things was Volkswagen Group as well, right? Because Porsche is a child of the Volkswagen Group, right? But the point is, it's like tariffs was a major thing in rather a factor in like a Volkswagen, Porsche losing all of that money, right?
Yeah.
Because you used to have this thing called, I forget the technical term for it, but basically if goods were less than $800, they didn't pay any kind of tax, right? But Trump removed that too, right? So you had lots of people that are like, well, we just ain't going to send to America then. I think a whole load of British companies was like, we just ain't going to send to America then. See, because sometimes it is easier to just be like, it's cheaper for us to leave that market than to try and.
Well, this is why you're getting all these Chinese vehicles here now.
Yeah, and they're better and cheaper.
Yeah, they had to open up the market to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and imagine they'd be even cheaper if there were no tariffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that BYD's got like 500 miles on electric power, bro. 500 miles, and you can charge it up. If you got a house charge, you can charge up for a £5 or a £10. £5 or £10 for it. You see, they're trying to pull you into the system.
You're trying to pull me.
Bro, with all them prices, like you see, but that's how Esau lays the snares.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also you're paying, currently paying like 140, 150, 160 for petrol.
Per
People are bugging
litre.
out. Yeah, people are bugging out.
Which I think there's like 3 or 4 liters in a gallon. So our is expensive. Sorry.
So obviously they want to sell the EV idea, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
And so this now looks better because it's costing you so much to run petrol. You know, it's just Esau's way of forcing you to do what he wants you to do. It's manipulation. Right, everything Trump's done, his decisions, you know, what he's doing here, tariffs here, whatever, is causing the global system that they want to move towards. You know, by putting pressure and strain on these different places. That's how Esau does things, because he controls he controls the corporation, he controls the finances, controls the stock markets and all these things. He controls everything. You know, and you have to go along with whatever's going on at the time, and make like, because you have to be stupid. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna stick my petrol car in it, but like. But realistically, from a logical perspective, you're fucking losing money, burning dinosaurs and shit. right? But logically, if you're suffering and because you can't absorb all these costs, then it might be better to go electric. But it's not because you wanted to go electric, it's because it's financially the smartest thing to do.
But that's how they got everyone with diesel. And then came around and be
Came and
like,
fucked you.
actually,
it's dirty.
it's dirty. You're gonna you can't, like, for instance, you got a diesel car of a certain age before 2016, you can't drive that in London anymore. Is it 2016 or 2015? Yeah, before 2015, you can't drive it in London.
Engine.
The diesel, and he basically
only
before
diesel.
2015.
Yeah, because those engines don't exist until after that point.
Yeah. Before 2015, that's all good. Before 2015, you can't drive it in London, right? And the thing is, it's not just like those. They're putting those systems throughout.
Birmingham,
Yeah,
some parts of Birmingham.
Bristol. Bristol's got a weight one now. They're saying TfL's London's about to bring one for SUVs as well, right? So you've got a big whip. They're gonna start charging you for driving your big whip. And then Bristol's like, if your car is 2 tons, you basically have to pay more to park.
See, the bigger goal and the bigger agenda is, they try to move to EVs to make some quick money, because that's all it's about, making quick money. Because what they don't want you to have is cars anyway.
Exactly.
It's just a way for them to make milk you until they get you to have nothing.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they're doing, right? Because they want you dependent on the system. So when you got no money, so what you don't need no car. You got no fucking money. You can't get no car anyway. So universal basic income is what they want to slap on you, man. Right? And again, there's going to come with kind of different criterias and whatever for you to get it. Right? First, they might offer it, just something you sign up to, you can get it. Yeah, cool. But the point is going to come where you're going to need to verify yourself, or always goes into the verification. Right? You need to verify that you are who you say you are. Right? So we ain't got people,
with the rules
scamming the system. Yeah, scamming the system or whatever.
But that's one of the things I thought about during the TV in America, because they just use little paper cards, right? And I was like, yeah. And even over here in the UK, they were giving I forget the relief, COVID relief, right? Where basically businesses would sign up and get 50 grand, right? And that system was abused,
So
right?
many niggas, there's so many scams,
right? But this is the thing. Esau, Scripture says in Psalm 64, right? Whose heart is deep. He did that on purpose, so that this time around they're gonna be like, well, last time, right? We were giving people abusing the system. All right, so this time, this time we've got to use other systems that are a lot more,
Yeah, it's sort of like when they were saying that, spouting out that bullshit. We have to stop the curve.
Yeah.
So if we just all stay at home, wear our masks, and this will never happen. And then, like, nigga, you really believe
3
that?
years later,
Bro, people really believe
they
that.
believe it.
We just all comply. This will not happen. All right.
It's got this preset. You mentioned some of it already. So Psalm 64, verse 5. So they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Right? So if you read from verse 2, it tells you about the secret counsel of the wicked, right? So these are the plans that they have running, right? And how it's a progression, right? They progressively get you to the next phase, until you get to the point where, now it's time for the MOTB. That's what they're waiting for, to get you to that point, So they're laying this snare, and having all these problems in the world force you down this avenue, right? So they can get you to that point. So these men are ready for the trip because they need it.
Oh, but there's a word, there's a saying, if you want to boil the clove, you need to boil, you need it
Slow boil.
Yeah. And it is the thing, but to echo something Elder Ariala says all the time, which is the fact of the matter, majority of these people, they're gonna take the MOT.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Even if there is no pressure. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They're in the world.
With a little bit of, it's just because it is a thing. It's like for them it's just technology.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll take it.
And all you need to do is give them the incentive.
Yeah.
You can write off certain debts if you just take it.
Yeah.
If they say it's necessity, like they'll do it. It's not a big thing for them really. They took all these mysterious V shots. It's like it was nothing for them. They were man are celebrating. You know what I mean?
They wore stickers.
Yeah.
That was a massive psychological.
I got my
Bro,
UBI
people
today.
doing it.
You know what I mean?
Like they're brave. They're all like a warrior for COVID.
What are these fucking children? Oh, you're such a brave boy for having an injection.
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Bro, when I
You
saw they were
clowns.
giving, bro, yeah, I saw the guy came to work. He had the sticker, man.
Oh,
He had the
it's, such,
sticker I've had, man.
it's so
Yo.
fucking humanized.
Bro,
Oh,
bro, those people got backstage for donuts.
yeah.
No, because they are fucking donuts.
Yeah.
Donut. You know?
As a man thinketh, innit?
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat, innit? Donut.
But yeah, this is just Esau's way of getting people to where they need to be. You know, for him to activate his plans. You know, people don't see it. They just think these are just random events that take place, and we're just doing what we think is the best thing to do at the time. No, it's planned.
And it's connected.
And Esau knows how you're going to behave. That's why he does it. And he knows the contingency you're not going to be with it. Just like the COVID, some people weren't with it. And he already knows this though. He knows there's a portion of people, and all we've got to do is demonize them and all this kind of stuff, put pressure on them. And some of these men will actually do it. It's just pressure. It's just constant pressure.
Esau knows how to play. One of the things I think about is like how he'll bring out laws. He'll bring out a law that he knows everyone is going to be up against, is going to be annoyed with. So, for instance, the farmers thing, right? So in the UK, before, farmers didn't have to pay any inheritance tax, right? And when you watch, once again, when you watch Clarkson's Farm, right, it goes to show you just how through a lot of these farmers in the UK are, right? So when the fertilizer costs go up, expect a lot of them to go out of business, right? But once again, that's the whole plan anyway, right? You
Which is going
know,
to add to the famines. And
Yep.
all that. It's all
Yeah.
part of it.
But basically, they said they basically brought out the law, saw how unpopular it was, and then but then brought it back with like, oh yeah, instead of 1 million, we're gonna make it 2 as your freebie. So the law is still there. Like for a farmer, it is very likely.
And if it was changed, it could be changed again, right?
Well, it's it. But it's better for that law to not be there in general. But he goes all the way to the extreme, so that when he gives you a concession, people feel good about it. Like he knows when you see a lot of things, you see that pattern over and over and over.
But it is just a concession, which he can decide not to give.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
You know, when he wants to change it, or we can't give it to you. We can't because we can't afford it to be like. That's what they'll tell you. We can't afford it. You know, so we have to do this. Otherwise, you know, everything's fucked.
Yeah.
You know, you're not happy. You know what I mean? Fuck off. God,
It's the book of Psalms 94 and 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by law?
decrees and unrighteous decrees. Because, you know, if you just dealt with the scriptures, we wouldn't have all these issues that we're having. Because it's quite simple. But Esau complicates things. And because he runs this world on debt, he makes it your problem that, you know what I mean? He makes it your problem that, oh, we can't afford to do this or whatever. So you suffer for it.
Yeah.
But these men are rich. They don't ever fucking suffer making these decrees.
That was the Monaco.
Yeah. So it's all devilry at the end of the day. We should just be, you know, doing what the scripture tells us to do, how to manage things. But Esau don't do that. You know? Did you understand?
Yeah. It says, this is back in 2nd Ezra 16 and 19 it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yes, the word. When these things ramp up, these demonic bastards are not going to be thinking, shit, this is happening because of our wickedness.
It's like when a hurricane hit. No one's
Where's the
thinking about
government?
it. You know what I mean?
Where was you?
FEMA.
Where FEMA at? No. All right. Behold, the victuals shall be so good cheap on the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Well, prime example is right. You know, you can get yeah. Then you got hit.
Car park.
Now you're in car parks. Again, I spoke to her who just came back. She had to find her way. She had to find her way, man. She said, man, like, I had to literally connect to get out there. There's a lot of people who can't get out.
Because that's the thing. Them three airports, which called Abu Dhabi, Doha, they basically ferry 500,000 passengers a day. That airport a day. a day. So imagine it being closed for a couple, and this is the problem. It's the way it's called the hub and spoke model, where basically, like if you imagine a bike wheel, all flights fly into Doha or Abu Dhabi, and then they fly onward, right? So when you're saying that the airport is closed, that basically means you've got so many people on either side of that hub and or either side that can't get home, right? And then you had the people that were in the middle that couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy from school, his mom was stuck in it. But man, he was hurt. He was like, yeah, but I can't watch any news about that place until mom's home.
You know what? There's even a couple more from people from school that we know that are teachers and shit out there. Shit, man,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to call my cousin. I actually gotta call him see if it's alright.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit, that's it. But it's one of them ones where it's just like, you know, I think more things are gonna be happening, man. You know, more family members gonna be getting, you know, and as for us, we're lucky because we're kind of expecting and have been prepared for these eventualities.
It's just say evil shall grow on the earth.
Yeah.
So we know things get worse and don't get better. You know, I know you people got different, you know, hopes and dreams that you think is gonna take place. No, things are gonna get worse. You know, this trip to Dubai might be the last trip to Dubai you ever go on.
Yeah.
You know, because the airport might never, you know, or the situation will never be come back to the point you can go again.
Well, airlines are hiking their prices now because it's
Dangerous.
no, it's the price of oil. Simple economic. Simple because it's just like, and the thing is, if that major hub is out of action, that means people are rerouting. So then people are rerouting. There are less flights, and then the price of oil has gone up.
Yeah, so you know, at times, you know, for some people, times is all right, but those times is coming to an end.
Sure.
You know.
That they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall
Oh, it's like actually even on that though, because the UAE is one of them hubs that basically they import a lot of their food, right? They what do you call it? They need those
And
desalinate and water
Yeah, because the desert, like,
because it's a desert,
shouldn't be there.
you know.
not people like.
So it's like for them, they would have been food, and they would have been able to go, okay, get my food. But then for them, they're going to be the first ones to see them price.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And it's funny, the luxury hotels now, the cheap
Mm.
shit, man. It's cheap and there's no people.
Yeah.
You know? Shit, man,
Yep.
I want to know how much them girls are going for right now. I mean, yeah. 'Cause that's what's happening out there.
Mhm. Well, that's what I was about to say as well. Like I was on the apps, scrolled a few times, right, and I kept a number of times I saw home. Home was UAE.
UAE.
Home was Dubai. I was like, oh
okay,
shit.
okay, man.
So that was a whole load of people. I was like, all right, man, I got a dip.
That's it.
Which the UK is basically getting a lot of them people because they left for tax purposes.
And now they like pay tax.
Yeah, because of there's a certain amount of time you have to have been out of the country before you're liable for tax. Whoops.
Fucked up my plans.
Yeah, and then in the midst of all of this, you got a monkey by the name of Andy Joshua who's going there to live. Dubai. He actually said that's
I'm
why
not
everything.
I don't fucking blame him. I don't stay here.
Honestly, when look at your gross and then look at your net, that makes anyone want to move.
Yeah, but
But
guess
I
what?
get what you said.
don't complain when your black ass can't fucking get water. If you're
know?
there with your muscle doing a burpee with no water.
You have to figure it out, innit?
You know what? You'd have to absorb absorb the energy from the sun. You know?
It was probably part of. I remember.
Yeah, you know that Jake, he says he ain't gonna eat. He's gonna get his suit. Absorb the energy from the sun.
It's probably part of his deal with Turkey, isn't it? For all of that money.
Yeah.
Because it's like right
Yeah,
now,
face here.
but this is the thing. It's like right now, if you can see how all of these alliances that we're reading of in Ezekiel 38 are going to happen, because Dubai spent a lot of time sports washing, right? Spent a lot of time media washing in general, right? To improve the image, because people are, they've got a horrible human rights record, which they do, Right? Don't be a third world immigrant in them countries. Don't do it. Right?
Like a slave.
Like there was a lit not like
I know.
Tuesday.
Man, the passport is gone.
Passport's
Yeah.
gone. When they do, was it the Qatar? What was it? Where was the World Cup? It wasn't Qatar, was it?
It was meant to be.
No, it was. It was.
Was it Qatar World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the Qatar World Cup. Yeah, it was it? Yeah. The Qatar World Cup. There were like a whole load of people died building the stadium. Like, bro, we build stadiums in UK. I don't ever hear anyone dying apart from some freak accident.
Yeah, some idiot.
You know, but the point is, a whole load of people dying, right, building those stadiums because that place is actually a little slave colony, and they spent a lot of money building and trying to change the image, right? And in a couple of days, that whole image is gone, right? And if this war continues, right, and more of their infrastructure gets destroyed, guess what? There's going to be a whole load of people that aren't going to be happy about that. So we're going to see what new alliances get made in these current times that we're in.
Yeah, this has been the time.
Pretty wrap up.
Yeah. And even the evil shall go on the earth, sword, famine, and confusion. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the hour that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
So best believe that these things this world is going to experience, these so-called first worlds, right? They're going to experience famine, man. You know,
And they're going to suffer because as you remember, there was that one of the first clips out of Dubai where the Jake, I think it was, he was like, yeah, man. And then there was this Lebanese woman. She didn't even flinch when the bomb went off. You remember that one of them, I think it was Eve actually. She was saying that Lebanese woman near her didn't flinch when the bomb went off.
Like, yeah, I'm used to this.
Exactly. So, and point I'm trying to make is in the rest of the world, people are used to maybe not having, yeah, exactly, like conflicts, but then even just not always eating food. I was one I had to visited family, right? And I look, is that all the meat? You know, you got like 3 cubes of beef. He's still like, oh shit. But what I'm trying to make is like for us, like yo, we're used to having more meat.
Man.
You know, but that's how the rest of the world lives, right? In the West, we've become so accustomed to great abundance in what we eat, right, and stuff like that. Which I just on that because it says many of them will die by famine, right? Which is a terrible way to go, right? This is Lamentation 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. But these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field.
it's a long suffering process.
Yeah. When you go into the biology of how you die from hunger, it is horrible because it's like your brain is sort of like a cool joke for the most side because it's like your brain is selfish, right? So the first thing that your body will start to do is will eat your fat, right? Start eating your fat, cool. But then it will be like, okay, cool, that's okay. So it's then eaten. So then it'll start eating the unimportant organs, right? But once again, it's like your brain is like, look, man, I'm an important organ. I can't like self. So basically, you're conscious and you're just there through all of that. Like, so the law could have designed it whereby your brain goes first and then you die. Nice and quick, simple job. But now you go through that. Then you get to a point where your heart is ingesting itself, which is why at the end of the road, you see the dad, he starts coughing. What is he coughing? He's coughing out blood, right? Because that's just the way your body eats itself during starvation is actually pretty damn horrible.
Good times. Good times. Yeah, these people go to good times, man. You know, because these people here in the West don't know nothing about that, really.
Oh, okay.
You know, and so this will be a complete shock to them.
Mhm.
You know, and they'll be bugging out over it. Like how we got to this point.
Yeah.
You know, because like if you knew your scriptures, you knew you was gonna get to this point anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so you should have been somewhat prepared. You know, but you know, people just live it up here thinking like nothing's ever gonna go wrong. This kingdom's gonna stand forever. We're not gonna. It's like Babylon. This is I'll be a lady forever. They don't think there's going to be any hardships or anything that's going to come towards them.
So you were saying, maybe you get them chicks. They've always been a hot chick.
Yeah.
Always been a hot chick. You see them, man. You chat to some of these older birds that used to be hot chicks, but now they're just like 45 and single.
Some of them still look alright, but it's like,
but
but you ain't that girl no
you
more.
ain't that girl no
You ain't
more.
that girl no more.
Like you're just a place thing.
So come with me. I'm taking advantage of you. I'll put a 5 on the table. Never speak about it. Till next week.
Anymore.
Yeah, that's it. We can go more on that, but that's the point I want to do.
Okay. You boys want to bring anything else up?
Hey, it's beautiful times, man. It's beautiful times. We're going to see the different alliances that get made. We're going to see where, you know, the Lord is what the Lord is going to do in terms of, you know, what He puts in the hearts of these kings and how this situation unfolds. You know,
And then for this upcoming week, hopefully we'll get more news on this. If this dude's dead or not.
Bibi's dead.
oh,
Bibi.
hey, hopefully. Hopefully, I just want to see what happens. Hey, some people, Mr. Wayne, just want to see the world burn.
Another one. Ooh.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time, yeah, because that could go one of the two ways, man.
Oh, that would just enrage both sides.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's interesting to see how these nations react, isn't it? How they what the most likely going to make them do. How they're going to behave in that, man. You know, that's part of the watching. You know, we watch to see how things unfold, isn't it?
But you know what's sorry.
So we know the general direction of things, but the intricacies is interesting to watch.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting, because if he's actually gone, yeah, in these Western nations, you will actually see like see like celebrations and protests like between so
which itself could
Muslim-
be an actual
that's what I'm saying.
inflection point.
Like Muslims can feel
Oh, especially true because this
like
is
a win, and you know what I mean?
because this is their little Ramadan time, isn't it?
exactly.
So they go look at it as a gift from up.
Yeah, so even that can the social
Inflame,
dynamic and fabric, because you know what I mean, especially these British Baconites. Yeah, you know, like I'll be hearing these low level at work. Like, well, I mean, the guy did do some things a bit kind of evil back in the 70s. So it is good that he's dead now. So if once their Lord and Savior Bibi, you know,
we're gonna see the scriptures prove that this man is the hypocrite.
and then you see in these cities, towns, the social fabric be tempered with more.
It's the Lord's will, man.
with that, man, praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Shem, Chakadash, that was the elders, the apostles, the messengers, and Salawam at the whole teaching should be today, man. Kala Yahweh